like 2001: A Space Odyssey, it's open to interpretation.
Deep something? I don't know. It's just anyway. That's not what.
Yeah, it's a deep audio.
Excellent. Okay. Excellent. Okay.
And that's the note we're starting on.
Cool. Do we need anything before we go live proper?
I should probably grab that drink.
Oh, okay.
And get that out of the way.
Bless you again.
Oh
Not
my
anymore.
goodness.
You don't get any more.
What's that?
Yeah, can you erase all?
How about now? Testing.
Testing.
Testing?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Cool.
Okay. Normal? Everything audio sounds appropriate? Okay, great. Now, let's try again. Hello, and welcome to Harrowing. This is a one-shot that we are doing for Jala's birthday. Does everyone want to... my name is Adam Bucceri. I am the creator of the game Harrowing and the narrator for today's adventure. And if everyone wants to go around and introduce themselves and the character that they will be playing, starting from the top with Jala.
I'm Jala. Yay! I'm playing Morgan Gendry.
I'm Dennis. I'm playing Alex Yun.
I'm Cole. I am playing Sam.
I'm Ben. I'm playing Amanda Rockwell.
I'm David. I'm playing Tessa Cooper.
Tessa Cook.
That's insane. We got two Coopers.
Although if you'd like to change it to Cooper, we could have two Coopers.
Multitasking.
Cool. So
we can add the quality married.
Yeah.
you could. So today's adventure, we are going to be playing Harrowing. Harrowing is a kind of strange one-shot game. It is a diceless game that instead requires a kind of a point economy. And I'm going to go over just kind of the general rhythm of it. So the game is going to be divided into scenes. So every scene at the start of it, all players will gain 1 point of will. Will is the currency that you are going to spend in order to take actions. Just like any other tabletop game, you can go around and you can, look at things, interact with things. But if you want to make meaningful change or effort against an obstacle, you're going to be spending will in order to do that. When you spend will, as you can see, there are, on the display to the right, there are stakes and doom. These are correlated to me, the narrator, and my abilities, because just like the characters, I have my own sheet, which dictates the rules that I follow. So, the stakes of the scene currently are set to trivial, 1, which means that when someone takes an action, for example, we're going to say Amanda Rockwell is going to do something dramatic. Because the stakes are 1, that means that when she takes an action, I will gain 1 point of doom. Then we continue back and forth. More actions are taken. We go to a new scene and the stakes are raised. Now the stakes are rising. Someone takes a dramatic action, and because the stakes are 3, I am going to gain 3 doom. When I have doom to spend, I, as the narrator, at any time can spend that doom in order to make bad things happen to you. So, for example, I will spend 2 doom in order to cause Sam Cooper to gain 1 point of stress. And now you can see my doom lowering. When the doom fills up, when it gets to 9, I am forced to spend all 9 in order to take a hard move, which cannot be resisted and are devastating. So you can imagine that when the stakes get high, the momentum is going to build and I am going to be able to take those hard moves faster. So that is kind of the basic cadence. The game also features prominently clocks, which you can see here. Clocks are a visual measure of progress. So this is a simple obstacle. It's only a 2-tick clock. When you take an action with normal effect, you will tick the top clock twice. The clock will fill, as seen here, and that means that you've overcome the obstacle. You can think of clocks like a health bar for everything, for fighting a monster, for opening a door, for any kind of ongoing effort that is towards an obstacle.
I like to imagine the clock emptying versus filling. That feels like a countdown. Just in case you want to know where my head is at.
Fair enough.
I'm just like ongoing effort against a door.
Well, let's do a real example and say that there is a locked door and it's high security, so it's going to be a 4-tick problem in order to open it. That means that you are going to have to take actions. So when you take actions, you are going to start out with limited effect, which means that you will tick the clock once. But you can increase the effect by invoking your qualities and your advantages. So if you have an appropriate tool for the job and there's some part of you, some quality that is appropriate to the task at hand, then you can increase the effect to either standard effect or great effect and tick it 2 or 3 times instead of just once. So you're going to be wanting to keep an eye on those and thinking about how you can use them in the situations at hand.
Are qualities and advantages consumed?
No, they are not. They are part of you, but you can lose them either as a consequence from me spending doom, or you can burn them in order to get to take free actions without spending a point of will. So if you are tapped out of will, but you need to act, you can consume one of those.
Okay, and that's like consume resource then?
Yep.
Okay.
So let's say you are in a common situation where you would like to act, but you don't have any points of will. What do? You invite trouble. So do something unwise, put yourself in a bad spot, tempt fate, and that will get you a point of will per level of effect. So just like taking regular actions, if you are invoking qualities or advantages while doing it, you can gain more will.
Okay. Do things need to make sense, like as far as like the resource you're spending versus like the action you're trying to do, or it's like I'm gonna throw away my cutting tools to like pick up a coin or something, you know?
It has to make sense if you squint. Like, it is loosey-goosey. It is meant
Gotcha.
for, I encourage a little bit of bullshitting, a little bit of fudging it in order to try to make a square peg fit in a round hole. But, we do want to kind of keep consistent within the fiction, which is something that all of us decide together. So, presumably someone's not going to find a magical wand, but something that is appropriate and possible, you are able to do. And when you gain resources, that is something that you can spend will to do. You are conjuring that into existence. You are deciding that something is real and that you have it. So it is not a matter of looking around an environment to find something useful. It is you deciding that you would like to gain something useful and then making it true. Similar
Okay,
to...
so we don't have to do resi item puzzles.
Correct. Similarly true is the probe secret and introduce an element that are on your bold actions list, where probe secrets, you discover important hidden information. You tell me what you want to discover, and then because you are spending the resource, you get it. You get what you want. There's no perception checks. There's no elements of randomness. If you want to learn something, you spend the resource and you get it. You get something useful and tangible.
Okay.
To poke at the edges of the consume resource thing, an example from another game that I've been in with Adam was I think someone consumed, it was like a bottle of whiskey or something like that to help them in fight. But instead of saying like, oh, I drink it and I fight better when I'm drunk or something like that, it was like, oh, well, yeah, you can do that to get the additional resource, but you will have accidentally like broken the bottle of whiskey in the fight.
Yeah.
Would that fly here as well?
It could, depending on the fiction. Yeah.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
It reserves the right to be all powerful.
Are there any other big questions, or are we ready to begin?
So from a strategic standpoint, we can just all agree to do nothing. You'll gain no doom, and we'll all be safe.
Yes, correct. In the same way that you can watch a movie by turning your television off.
You won't be scared by it.
All right.
I don't have any questions.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is looking. I hadn't checked on the list of topics that you had sent out early, Adam, since I put my stuff in, and the list has gotten very interesting.
Yeah, we filled out a list of safety tools, which included things that players wanted to see in the game and didn't want to see, and got some really interesting answers. So I am excited to see how that shakes out. So
Yeah, I think we established that in this universe, everyone has peg legs because we've forbidden big feet, small feet, and medium-sized feet.
feet of all kinds were forbidden in a point of dubious seriousness. So I will simply not draw attention to any feet. Everyone can imagine the feet of your choice.
Well, you had to throw the example out there. I had to roll with it, and then somebody had to take it and run even further. So.
All right. So if we are ready to begin, the scene begins with a open star field, and the camera pans past what looks to be enormous cylinder gently floating through space. Zooming back out, you can see that there is a small spacecraft inside which all of you are gently approaching this ship, this vessel. What it is exactly is largely unknown. Research on Earth was able to detect some kind of foreign object passing through at enormous speeds through our solar system, and through no small amount of work and human ingenuity, various crew members from different orbiting space colonies and low Earth orbit projects were able to divert their efforts and make their way to this vessel that is flying through space. What our intelligence was able to understand on Earth is extremely limited. They were able to detect that it was perfectly smooth. They were able to detect that it was moving at enormous speeds and that it would be exiting our solar system in a matter of days, making this the only opportunity that mankind would ever have to interface with this strange object. Scrambling, humanity was able to put together a small crew in order to intercept it, which is you. So you are a ragtag group of scientists and not mercenaries. You know, there's no combat training here. This is a learning expedition, and all of you were able to come here on extremely short notice for what is undoubtedly one of the most significant scientific expeditions that mankind has ever taken. And so slowly, the ship approaches this floating cylinder, and now close enough to have some real eyes on it. It does become obvious that it is artificial, that it is a vessel of some kind, and it does seem to have an airlock on the most recent, on the nearest end to you. And so very carefully, the ship docks onto this foreign vessel. The airlock is able to be pried open, and the five of you walk inside, stepping foot on truly alien territory, entering into a room that is utterly pitch black. Small game note aside, advantages is not like an inventory. It doesn't mean that it is everything that's on you. Because you are in spacesuits and have a modicum of preparation, simple, basic things you have on you. So things that would be appropriate and make sense to have on your person. It doesn't mean that you don't have a flashlight, for example.
Thank goodness. That would make this first room very challenging.
But yeah, the
Amanda turns on her flashlight.
Turning on her flashlight, Amanda is able to pan it back and forth around the pitch black room. It is cavernous, but it seems to have some kind of markings that lead to a kind of central hole in the floor. Direction is difficult here because you are still weightless. So this hole kind of leads directly into the center of the cylinder.
I'd like to check if there's any breathable atmosphere in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. This is the start of the first scene, which means everyone gains 1 point of will, and the stakes are trivial.
Okay.
Steak.
And so we should all be at 1 will right now, right?
Yes, everyone has 1 point of will.
Sweet.
So, checking your instruments, you are able to see that currently here in this room, it does not seem like it's breathable, which is not terribly surprising because you are still in what seems to be an airlock.
It's showing the airlock.
That we forced open.
Correct. Which opened with surprising ease. You know, it was not resistant to your efforts.
Were we able to shut it behind us? Or is it still just open?
It is still open and connected to your ship.
Okay.
Running this flashlight along the walls, does it look like the airlock was built into some kind of natural surface, or is this definitely like a spaceship, constructed spaceship of sorts?
Scanning around, this is unquestionably artificial. The smooth walls are made of some kind of metal or ceramic. Detecting the exact substance is difficult, but it seems like it is clean and sterile and smooth.
Sam here. I have a radar on me as one of my advantages. Getting a little nervous about all this darkness and how huge this room is. Like to take a look at the radar, see if anything's moving nearby within the effective range.
Sure. Taking a look at the radar, there are no signs of movement. As far as you can tell, this is still as a tomb.
I'm definitely standing behind him, waving my arms to set off the radar.
Now,
It's not really constructive. Test.
now, a question: are you just doing a goof, or are you attempting to invite trouble?
No, I'm just messing with Sam. Just keep your eyes toes, yeah?
Very good.
We're all on our toes because this is something that's literally never
Phase.
happened.
Yeah.
Test.
I like the idea
I
that
mean-
you invite trouble
Well-
for later.
Never happened that the people in charge that the man wants you to know about, but if you look at, records from history, this sort of thing could have happened, many times. Book of Ezekiel.
I've heard you talk about the pyramids so much. I can't hear you talk about the pyramids anymore.
Why not?
mean-
Look, if we make contact with
meanwhile-
aliens, our sense of humor is what's going to endear us to them.
Meanwhile, Morgan is ignoring those two and has flashlight on, goes over to the nice, wonderful big hole that everything is leading to. I have a scanner, so I'm trying to use my scanner to scan into the hole ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. And I want to say, you guys are all making excellent use of the tools and observation, but you can also spend that point of will in order to know something beyond that and know for certain. So
Okay.
keep in mind that that is an option. Morgan, approaching this hole, looking at it, you can see that it is a recess, and you're still, again, gently floating over there. And you see that it is closed with what seems to be an aperture. This looks like the entrance proper, but this does seem to be sealed tightly with no obvious handle or mechanism that you understand how to interface with.
Are there any markings
you
or anything
mentioned-
on it other than just like the stuff leading to that place? Are there any other markings on it? Seams or anything, or is it just?
It's an aperture, so it's like those intersecting kind of, blades that seem to be keeping it closed. But it doesn't seem like there's any obvious control panel or button or handle or levers that you can see.
So we've seen the center of the room. I think we should walk the circumference, see if there's anything that kind of sticks out. Everything here is eerily smooth. So far, anyway.
Amanda brings up the point that she has cutting tools, so we can use that if we want to go to the center, but we could also go around the perimeter too.
Yeah,
Can you
that's fine.
Yeah, I'm wondering, if their technology is anything like ours, there might be some sort of, access panel for some sort of electronics, something like that.
I got you covered. And Alex will use the mobility of his jetpack, short-range jetpack, to kind of do a circumference real quick, looking for anything that stands out. So I will make this. I will use my will to probe secrets. I'm gonna kind of go and see anything that I can find in the wall here, and yeah.
All right, so
like a deep scan.
So you are spending a point of will to probe secrets, and you discover important hidden information. Uh-oh. The technical difficulties. Let me get the music going again.
Ooh.
There we go. And now everyone's back in the correct place. Yeah, so you probe secrets to reveal hidden information. So taking your jetpack, flying around, you do indeed find a panel of some kind. What basically looks like a... What's the word? Like almost like one of those information kiosks where it's like a little protrusion
like map.
that is coming up. Something like that, with a front of smooth black glass. It currently seems to be dark and as inactive as everything here. Would you like to try to poke it?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, without hesitation. I was like, doot, doot. Like, you've seen these things in airports for wayfinding.
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually go make a doot doot noise as you press it?
Yeah. Hey guys, check this out. Doot.
Pressing it, it does indeed react to your touch. A little blossom of light kind of emits on the screen from where your finger touches it. And a few seconds later, it seems like these little spider webs of light are kind of tracing it. And suddenly you are seeing a number of strange shapes, potentially a language, you're unsure, and what looks to be like some kind of interface, some kind of buttons. But what they are and what their purpose is unknown.
Okay. I fly up to this. One of my advantages is that I'm a looker. I'm going to take that not to mean that I'm exceptionally attractive, but that
Could mean that though.
It could mean that.
Could. Yeah, it can be porque no estos. I'm going to do interpret that to mean that I'm observant. Can just visually acute, can see connections and stuff. Otherwise, why would I have the radar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to take an action and see if I can discern something useful out of the relation in these characters.
So you are taking action and you are invoking one of your qualities, which means that you are going to have standard effect. And this obstacle, because Alex discovered this panel, is a simple obstacle. So this is only a 2-tick problem, which basically shows up, you tick it twice, which means that you're poking and prodding, the intuition that you have, tracing a couple of lines, making some connections. It's only a few seconds before behind you, you hear the door start to slowly grind, a kind of squealing noise of something that hasn't operated in a very long time, and the aperture slowly begins to open.
So while we're doing
Oh,
that,
I forgot to give
can
myself
I-
doom, so there have been 2 actions.
While we're doing that, can I record the maybe language in some ways? Just kind of document what we found.
Absolutely. Why I would recommend that you spend a point of will in order to gain a resource, something like a camera or a recording device that might come in handy later.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. What would we call that? Do we just have some sort of just scanner or something like that?
I have a scanner as one of my advantages
Oh.
already.
Okay, that's a bad name then. Just a space camera.
Space camera. Can I invite trouble?
Yes, please.
So, I believe Sam is doing this very intentionally and carefully, like, kind of deciphering what the symbols might mean. And it's just like, oh my god, is this like the control panel for the whole place? And he starts kind of just swiping at it without nearly as much intention as Sam, just kind of seeing if something will happen. Not nearly with the care or skill.
All right. Are you invoking any of your qualities or advantages?
I'll invoke bolt because I want to bolt ahead into figuring this out.
All right, that is going to give me 2 more points of doom. So I am going to spend some of that now. What is going to happen is I'm going to give you guys a taste of trouble, which is just me spending 1. And what is going to happen is that the aperture, which has been opening somewhat slowly, you're going to hear it kind of grind to a halt, and now it is starting to close, and it becomes immediately apparent to you guys that this is your window of opportunity closing behind you.
Well, I was already over there anyway, so I'm going to jump in if I'm clear to do so. So...
All right.
It's just the door. I feel this is just the door control. Got it.
I am not even paying attention. I am busy doing a barrel roll or whatever to get through that door.
Yeah. I shake my head and then walk in as well.
I have to do a barrel roll. It doesn't even matter if I can make it by walking. I have to, like...
You do that and you look great.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to stay if it's closing. So
I cautiously will go through if there's enough time for me to not die going through.
Yeah, it does seem that way, but it's definitely closing. So now's the time. But as a team, you all take that to heart and you make your way inside into the unknown. On the other side of the aperture is a large, wide platform of some kind. And, passing through the door, we're going to call that a new scene. So everyone is going to gain 1 point of will.
Okay.
And then point of order, I got the point of will for inviting trouble, but...
You got 2 points of will because you also invoked...
I invoked my...
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. That was my question. Thank you.
Oh, so will carries over.
Yes.
I hope so. Otherwise, what I did would be meaningless.
And the stakes for this scene are going to raise to low. Going to the... just a moment. Let me adjust let me make sure the music... There we go. Making your way inside, you find yourself on this large flat platform. You find what appears to be a stair that starts to approach the side of the wall, and it has very prominent rings along the side of it. Obviously intended to be grasped in order to propel yourself through the zero gravity environment. But the space that you are in, it quickly becomes apparent that the antechamber that you were in was nothing compared to the absolute vastness of the size of the location that you're in. Your flashlight beams stretch out into darkness and do not illuminate anything. You don't know if you are in a room the size of a cave or a room the size of an ocean.
Yay! I grabbed
You
a ring
noted.
for propelling myself down.
The team propel using the rings of the ladder to follow the obvious route down. I am going to choose. I'm going to choose Amanda Rockwell to be the first one to notice. You are going to see as you are going down the way that when in a pitch black situation, out of the corner of your eye, you're not quite sure if you're seeing something, if there's a light, if there's a source of something. But it definitely feels like you are seeing something start to light up. Very faint, just the faintest whisper of light.
So I'd like to interact and like shine my flashlight on it and try and investigate it.
I will say that your flashlight is woefully inadequate for this current situation. If you can choose to spend a point of will to probe secrets, if you'd like to know the answer for sure. But right now, this is starting to give you some anxiety. Just the fact that there is something on your periphery, and you are going to take 1 point of stress.
Take 1 point of stress.
How very unlike you.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm going to start to spacewalk in that direction. Say, hey, I think I see something over there. I want to figure out what that is. And
I'm
so
gonna back them up.
Yeah, I'll follow him. Although I imagine I'm just trying to like swim.
We have thrusters.
So you guys are just launching yourself out into the void?
I guess, like, I'm going down wherever the very obvious path is, so you guys are over there. I'm off by myself, I guess. Oh, well.
So what I'm imagining is that I've got like a roadside picnic style bag of bolts that I'm just throwing to equal and opposite motion myself.
Oh, to try to propel yourself?
Yeah.
I question the effectiveness of this particular technique, but I like your attitude.
So Sam said they're backing me up. Where are Tessa and Alex going?
So I'm following you too.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the jetpack, so I'm best equipped to be in the void. And does Amanda say what she sees, or are we just kind of like following?
All right, so we're all holding on to Alex, and then Alex is using their jetpack to scoot us in that direction.
All right, we're gonna
That's
end
not
this.
me. I'm somewhere else apparently, so it's fine. I'm off by myself. Bye, guys.
As a point of order, the fact that there's stairs here implies that either there's a gravity generator or this ship was sometimes intended to be used in a gravity well. So we might want to be a little careful in case, the gravity turns back on.
This excellent thought passes through your head as you and the majority of your crew throws yourself into the void. This glint of light that was at the corner of your eye that you're attempting to head towards, now that you are moving because of parallax, because of perspective, you are seeing how little that is moving, and it continues to steadily become brighter. And now as you are making your way out there, it is slowly starting to illuminate what you can see is the inside of this enormous cylinder, which I will put that image right there. You can start to see that this point of light seems to be an artificial sun or something that is starting to illuminate the entirety of this cylinder with what appears to be a world wrapped around on the inside. And it's around that moment that you do start to feel the effects of a gravity start to pull down on you.
Oh no.
Oh, it's starting to spin.
Alex, you're pretty confident that you're going to be okay with your jetpack. Everyone else might be in trouble.
And so
Except for
Morgan
me,
is
I'm,
somewhere
like,
on the
still-
side of this, right?
Morgan's great. Morgan's just
Oh no.
this ladder, these rings, kind of line. You can see that they line the entire edge of it, and traversing them from where you came all the way down to the ground floor would be quite the journey, several kilometers. But you can also start to detect just very slightly by moving closer to the walls, the artificial gravity that this station is producing is starting to take hold of you as well. But fortunately, you're holding on to the side of a wall, so you're in pretty good shape.
I'd like to take an action and invoke my fixer quality to try and upgrade the jetpack or use it so it starts emitting enough fuel so that we don't immediately die.
All right.
Full power to engines.
So, yeah, doing that, you are able to take the jetpack that Alex has. How scientifically are you approaching this? Is this like a adjusting wires? Is this messing with settings, or just whacking it?
This is like when people are falling in those videos you see online, and they're frantically trying to grab their parachute so that they don't die and hit the ground. Like, that's about like the intensity. I'm trying to keep a cool head, but I'm like, we need to do this like really quickly. So a little bit of precision at first, but I'm ready to whack it if I don't immediately get it.
Brad Pitt at the beginning of Ad Astra, for anyone who's seen that.
All right. I'm going to call this a 4-tick problem called jetpack. And you are frantically messing with it. Alex, you've got one of your partners. You've got like one person in each hand, and then Amanda is on your back, obviously fidgeting and fussing with this thing that is strapped to you. And it is difficult to control. But Amanda, you feel like you're making progress. You feel either just a little bit more time or something else would be able to get this jetpack to a point where it can take all of you to safety.
So can I, one of my traits, qualities is brain. So can I use my intelligence to like, I'm imagining I'm gonna pull out some sort of MacGyver thing where I'd be like, oh, this chocolate bar I have actually, supercharges the plutonium, and I have.
Sure, I love the idea.
I guess spend a point of will to use brain. Is that a thing?
That absolutely is a thing. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Is that like the take action, or?
Yeah, he is taking action. So Tessa rummages around in her backpack and pulls out what precisely?
A really big bowl. I think I pull out a cell phone and rip out the battery pack and hand it up to I'm sorry, I'm still getting character names.
Amanda.
To Amanda, and I'm like, use this to give the retro thrusters a boost.
Yeah, passing up what turns out to be the perfect tool for the job. A electronic component lands in your hand, Amanda, and you quickly see that just with a couple wires, you're going to be able to modify this jetpack in order to get you where you want to go. So with that, the jetpack clock fills. Alex, you are flying in midair, holding 3 of your companions. The additional thrust is going to give you a good amount of control, but it's not going to give you infinite flight with them. You're going to need to navigate to a safe spot. Your companion Morgan is also over there on the ladder. So what would you like to do?
I mean, this is Alex's dream. Like, when he insisted that we needed a jetpack, this was the exact same thing. But I'm not going to say he was
warned
hoping
us.
for it. Yeah, but he was hoping for it. And with the additional, thrusters, he's like, I'm Iron Man. So you said just climbing, Morgan would it would take hours for Morgan to actually get to the edge. So can Alex try to swoop the jetpack close enough to Morgan for her to jump on?
Absolutely. Morgan, how do you feel about watching your companions pinwheel through the air and now head towards you to pick you up, to give you a crazy taxi?
Well, a couple of things. I would like to. Okay, how can I best use my ability to scan in this particular situation? I want to somehow deduce the best place for us to be deposited with the least amount of damage to our persons if I were to jump onto this crazy pinwheel of human bodies around a jetpack attached with a cell phone battery.
That sounds to me like probing secrets, where you are going to know the best possible location.
I would like that, please.
Excellent. That is going to come in really useful, because if you take a look at that big old Doom tracker, you can tell that the other shoe is about to fall. Morgan, you jump onto Alex's backpack.
Fall is a very interesting choice of words there.
Gesturing, you point to the ideal location, which is a gentle sloped surface that comes up to meet this, with what looks to be some soft grass to fall on. Pretty ideal. Which is right around the time that the jetpack starts to fail. So I am going to cause you to lose the resource of jetpack.
Oh no!
Oh no!
As
your dream! I wish you fulfilled your dream before the
I
jetpack
was Iron Man.
the overcharging of the jetpack did work, but it looks like it put too much strain on the system. And with 5 people that it's trying to support, that's just too much. And you can feel it start to drop.
Okay. I separate. When I hear the sputtering, I'm gonna take an action. I can't justify this by any of my traits or anything. It's just all of us cartwheeling together toward the slope. We're gonna injure each other by knocking into each other.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna kick away from them to get some distance so we land.
All right, excellent. Are you? This is an action that you're taking to do so?
Yeah. Let's say that.
All right.
I don't want them to hurt me. I don't want my flying body to hurt them.
An excellent choice. Sam waits for the appropriate opportunity and then disengages. And you see him bizarrely, again, wrapped around the cylinder, seemingly hit this wall and start rolling and then sliding down. The rest of you all make it down to it, but you come in harder than you'd like, and the rest of you are all going to take a point of stress from the impact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Also, didn't explicitly say, there is a resist action. So
Mhm.
if you suffer a consequence that you don't want, you can spend a point of will in order to
Gotcha.
avoid it.
So that's effectively
That
what I
is not
did.
fair.
It was like I saw impact, and I was like, resist, get away from everybody.
Yeah,
Yep.
like I personally wasn't going to be jumping on the crazy train. I was going down the way with the ladder in the first place. I would like to have, like, I especially seeing them coming barreling towards me, I don't want any part of that except for the amount that I have to be attached to them. So I would like to also disengage. Like when I see Sam, I'm like, bye guys, deuce, over this way, the opposite way from Sam, over there. So.
All right.
Alex is yelling, I can hold it! I can hold it! But just for the Star Wars reference, not because he actually thinks.
Coming down a little bit harder, a little bit bumpier. All 5 of you seem to make it to the bottom of the cylinder. This ground floor that wraps around. And aside from a couple small bruises, not too much worse for wear. And with that, we are going to start a new scene. So everyone gains 1 point of will. And the stakes for this scene are trivial, once again.
Okay.
Oh.
So, can I look around at the plant life, that sort of thing, and try to just kind of get some general information on it? I guess what I'm saying is not probing, but more just like, what do I see?
Yeah. So looking around, everything that you're seeing here is remarkably familiar looking. You know, you are standing on what appears to be grass. There appears to be trees. Aside from the impossible scenery that is around you, you know, just looking down at any individual thing, this all feels very familiar.
So, can I you know, reasoning that you know, these are you know, green plants that you know, are existing here. You know, can I reason that they must be producing oxygen and invite trouble by taking off my helmet?
I would love for you to invite trouble by just taking off your helmet.
Oh man.
Would you like to invoke any qualities or advantages while doing that?
How does that work?
Probably not Brain if he's doing that.
No, I'm thinking I'm logically deducing it. I'm thinking I've got a brain and a med pack,
Mm-hmm.
so presumably I'm some sort of biologist. So I'm thinking I'm deducing that you know, these must be you know, if these plants follow the same laws as our terrestrial plants, they must be producing what would be a breathable atmosphere.
Absolutely. So it sounds like you're invoking brain. This is a calculated risk to you. You feel pretty confident about
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So how does that work?
So because you invoked it, that brings you up to standard effect, which is level 2, which means that you gain 2 points of will. And I gain 2 points of doom.
No, nothing bad could happen from that. I mean,
Seems-
I'm sure you'll use the doom wisely and for good.
Always. Have you met me? The answer is no. This is our first time meeting. Hello. Yeah, so everyone, you see Tessa just reach to the helmet, pop those straps, and pull it off. And Tessa takes a deep breath and gives you all a winning smile.
Scare me like that.
Seems good.
Oh yeah, this coming from Mr. Jetpack.
Amanda's gonna wait a good 5 or 10 minutes before she takes her
I'm
mask
taking
off.
my helmet.
Alex
Morgan is
scared.
not.
Did you ever consider how would your jetpack even burn if there weren't any atmosphere here?
Yeah, it worked out in the vacuum.
It could be like an
engine.
ion. Yeah, it could be like ion chip.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how any of this stuff works. I'm just the person who thinks. All right.
Hey, Morgan. got that scanner of yours. Can you check for some spores, poison gas, air, microbes, parasites?
That's
Things
a
like
thing
that?
that I am well equipped to do. I would like to do this thing by using my wonderful scanner and probing secrets to make sure that there are no weirdo spores, etc. Or to find out that there are and that Tessa is having a problem now.
Oh yeah, I am now the Among Us alien.
Morgan, looking down at your scanner, trying to detect these particulates, you get what is seemingly a impossible result, which is poplar allergens.
Oh god, I'm allergic to everything. This is worst ever. Worst day of my life.
Better out in space.
I can't even get rid of them in outer space. This is some bullshit.
I mean, poplar's a very popular allergen.
Sure is.
That's the only dangerous thing. Like, that's the most prevalent thing that is there.
I'm
Not
still
to
not taking
minimize
my
how
helmet
bad
off
it is.
because I have
Yeah.
allergies. This is not a thing.
Well, we could lose ammo at any second, so I'm not going to
Yeah.
pop mine off unless it's a thing. I'm going to
clarify,
what's
to-
that?
Sorry, to clarify, the result that you're getting from your scanner isn't that this is similar to an Earth atmosphere. The scanner is saying that this is an Earth atmosphere.
So did
I
any
have
of you
allergies.
guys
I'm
ever-
not taking my helmet off. That's not a thing. We talked about this.
Any of you ever read Sphere? Michael Crichton?
Yes.
No?
Saw the movie.
Yeah.
I'm going to gain a resource because tell me. We are
Claritin.
We are a 5-person kind of away team.
Yes.
Expeditionary. We would have radio contact with some kind of vessel that's waiting to pick us up, right? There are people observing us through, like, there's comms, right?
Yeah, there's definitely someone who was left behind on the ship to hold down the base, and then they are in direct contact with radio control.
Okay.
So is there any way for me to, like, I know some games have a thing where you can, like, spend a point to define something within the mythology of the game?
Introduce an element.
Introduce an element.
Yes.
Yes,
I
that.
was about to do something similar. Go ahead, Dave.
I would like to introduce an element that
I'm-
it's in specifically.
I'm going to pause. Cole was in the middle of trying to gain a resource, so we're going to do that first, and then we're going to do that, and then we're going to do Jala.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know necessarily that I'm going to gain a resource. I'll leave it to you if this is the case. I want to update the person who is listening to us with what's happening here, just so that they're aware. Mostly, I think I'm anxious that by being in here, we have lost some kind of contact. So I'm reporting back just to make sure they can hear in case we need help.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So
what? Good.
Would you like to have that be a advantage that you can invoke in the future, or is that just?
Yeah.
Okay, then
let's call that in touch.
Perfect. And actually, to me, that sounds like a quality. If you would prefer to
Okay.
have it as that.
All right.
But yeah, sending a message to the ship, you get back a response from the beloved pilot of the ship who was left behind, who is, of course, as everyone knows, named
Mike!
Mike.
Mike, it's got to be Mike.
Mike!
Mike!
Hey, what's up? Everything's looking good up here. Everything looking good down there.
Mike does not sound like a scientist, by the way.
Like I'm a country boy who was in low Earth orbit who got wrangled into this, just like the rest of you.
Yeah, so we're in kind of a zone of danger situation up here. We got ourselves a rotational colony appears, and we're seeing we have atmosphere that is Earth's. really unexpected stuff. We just need you to be aware that qualities are here for life, be it humans, be it tigers, be it microbes. Just be
Bears are
aware when
mine.
they come knocking on the door.
Roger, copy. We'll report down to the chain of command. You stay safe there.
We'll try.
Speaking of doors, the one who came through did close. I can't remember why, but if there's any way to remotely
Could be any
try to
reason.
make sure we have an egress, that would be great.
Yeah, Mike is going to also add, like, you know, hey, I'm here as an escape, but you got to get to me. You know, there's no way for me to reach you unless you
Yeah.
blow a hole in the side of it or something. Do a heat signature
So-
auto defenestration.
So, can I introduce an element that the reason we have to get to Mike is because Mike is an AI?
Oh, I love the idea of your ship being an AI. Yeah.
But he still has the same personality that we
Yes.
just
Oh yeah, it
established.
still has
Yeah.
the New York accent.
They programmed me to be, you know, approachable. Yes, I
So
love that.
introduce an element is 1 will or 2
Uh,
or 3.
everything is always one will.
Okay, cool.
Jala, what were you
Well,
planning on doing?
I would like to introduce something else. I want to see some kind of damn life. Damn it. There's some kind of life we have come across. I'm busy looking around while they're doing, I don't know what they're doing. Whatever. Okay. Sam's talking to the ship. Okay, great. I don't know what the other people are doing. I'm looking around and I happen to find something alive. I don't care what. I'm looking for something to communicate with. That's why we're here.
I love
See
it.
what this is. Yes.
Um,
I don't care if this is inviting trouble. I just want something to happen.
So Cole, I'm sorry, Sam. Sam, you're communicating with Mike. Everyone is kind of listening in as the report, and then off to the side, you hear Morgan say, you know, guys, and the camera pans over, and there is what is unmistakably a full-sized deer with a rack of antlers, gently walking towards her, no fear in its eyes, like just sniffing at her.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
Oh, can I
that's
talk to the
definitely
animal?
Raven.
Can I talk to the animal since I've got communication as one of my qualities?
Oh boy, you do.
Established. Jala is a Disney princess.
I will let you bullshit away for this to work. How describe to me how this works.
Well, okay. I am a person who is on this mission because I am a communications expert. But this is not just linguistically with speaking to people, cracking codes, doing all that wonderful fun stuff, but also because of my particular kin with animals. I have worked with animals such as dolphins and other things like that, and help them in different scientific things, training them and working with them regularly. So not just dolphins, it's not exclusive to sea mammals, just creatures.
Mhm.
So,
Okay, it was like sea otters and mostly 90% dolphins. You can stop pretending like it's like shh.
anyway, so if we don't listen to Jetpack Man. All right, anyway.
Rocket Man.
And anyway, so I have a pretty good chance of at least getting on good terms with this critter, even if I cannot necessarily understand. Although I'm pretty good with understanding, sussing out what the body language of these
Yeah.
different creatures are as well. That's part of my overall training as a communications person.
You're gonna do some dog whispering.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, so that is going to be you. I think I'll continuing to probe secrets. Probe secrets has never gotten so much use as this particular game.
How are we on resources? I'm talking to the group. Do we have food, stuff like that, for extended camping trip?
Or like our
'Cause
oxygen
it's very-
levels.
Well, I mean, the plant should take care of that, right? I say as I'm the only one with my helmet off.
I mean, food, water, resources. I mean, there's a deer in front of you. There's water. There are plants.
I'm not eating the deer. I'm vegan in space. Okay.
I wanna-
Vegans
I
in
wanna hear this
space. I
conversation.
approve.
Yeah.
But
I'm
even
standing bolt still.
plant life, it does seem like there are resources here. I will say on a meta level, while the stakes are low, this is a great time for you to gain resources such as qualities and advantages. Back to Morgan. Morgan, you are reaching out to this animal and expecting some level of hesitancy, and you are finding none. It is approaching you, more like a house cat or like a newborn than a typical adult deer's behavior. It is approaching you with absolutely zero fear, absolutely zero hesitation, simple curiosity, which is both familiar in a way, but also deeply alien. It is very odd that it is behaving in this way.
Is there any way for me to tell whether or not this is because it has been subject to animal husbandry, like being raised by something or someone?
You can see that it does appear to be alone. It doesn't seem like it's part of a larger herd. And it has no markings or artificial anything. It doesn't have a collar. It doesn't have a brand. It doesn't have a tag. It doesn't have anything that would indicate an outside force acting upon this deer.
Hey guys. Anyway, I don't know where are they relative to me at this particular juncture? Are they wandering around somewhere? Are they somewhere nearby?
I think they're only a half
They
dozen
somewhere?
feet away. They were communicating with Mike.
Yeah, we're just shooting the shit with Mike.
Yeah.
So, can Alex is like rummaging through the broken wreck of the jetpack. I know, sort of-
Tears streaming down his cheeks.
but he kind of there's a strut that connects to one of the burners, and he kind of I'm going to spend a resource, or I'm going to gain a resource, to like break off this strut with the burner on it to have almost like a stick that I could use as a walking stick, but also I could kind of like swing that burner at someone almost like a torch.
All right, multi-purpose. I like it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's what Alex is doing, and that's why he has not watched this deer whispering very closely.
Yeah. So the
So-
fact that it's not scared of us means that it is not used to predation. A strange thing probably wouldn't, it would probably be scared of it. If anything, it tried to kill it before. We might be okay. And
Are you inviting trouble,
Says that
Tackle?
very confident.
I said we might be okay. There's a bit of doubt. I'm saying this like stock still. I don't want to startle it because I've seen what a deer can do to a car when it runs into it.
So
Out.
can I gain?
Okay.
Oh, I was going to say, can I gain a resource and or an advantage, I guess, and I'd like to pull out where as the biologist, I had some sort of like portable lab kit, something like that, and take a reading or a sample from the deer, maybe like brain scan. I don't know, try to figure out what this deer's deal is.
Sure. Let's go with that. So I'm going to call this once again probing secrets. And what is the tool that you are using?
So I guess I don't currently have a tool, so can I say that I was carrying, I don't know, some sort of like biology kit? I don't know.
Sure. You'll need to spend a point of will in order to gain that as a resource.
Okay. Alright, so spend a point of will and then spend another point then to probe the deer's secrets. Is that how that works?
Correct. which is
Yeah,
weird
so
when you say it
it's
like
very
that.
invasive.
Why'd you make it?
Yeah,
Why'd you make it weird? There's a word for this. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but basically like carbon dating, but for something that's alive, right? And approaching this deer, you quickly do a little test, and you get back another seemingly impossible result, which is no time at all. This thing is functionally a newborn.
What?
Okay.
And it is at that point, I'm going to start introducing some trouble.
Yay!
The landscape around you is soft and natural and lush. But as you're getting oriented, you can see that farther back, there are seemingly these building-like structures that are on the opposite side of this water. These large, tall, featureless rectangles that jut straight up out of the earth. And walking towards it, maybe 100 yards away or so, you see what looks to be a bizarre creature, ? At first blush, from a distance, you would guess that it is a crab, perhaps, but it doesn't look like any crab you've ever seen. It doesn't move like any crab you've seen. It has this featureless, gray, smooth skin. It walks with a perfectly even, smooth motion as these legs pump up and down, in it almost appearing to glide. And it doesn't seem to have a recognizable head that you can tell. Extended, coming out from these arms that end in these kind of sharp little claws, you can see it's holding what appears to be a bubble. And suspended inside this bubble is a perfectly still bird, seemingly suspended mid-flight. And you see it just click-clacking towards, across the landscape towards these buildings.
I think we found a builder.
Yeah, am I losing my mind? Are you guys seeing this?
Is that organic or is that mechanical?
Yes to both questions.
Well, I see something that I need to communicate with, and also a bird. I'm going that way. So I head straight for it.
Morgan.
I head straight for it.
Are you heading straight
I
towards it,
follow.
or are you invoking trouble by heading straight towards it?
That's a good question. I don't know. How much doom you want to spend on that?
I'm slightly scared, so I'm gonna invoke my fixer quality and recover stress, because I want to do that since there's a lull in the action before anything gets really crazy.
This isn't an action, but because the deer is effectively newborn, I'm revising my hypothesis. If it has just been born, then it would not have had a chance for anything to predate on it. I am scared that this thing is dangerous, and I am staying still and letting Morgan take the lead on this one.
Yeah,
All right.
they can't see you if you don't move.
Morgan starts making her way towards. Actually, Morgan is a gender neutral name, so is Morgan he or she or what are Morgan's pronouns?
Morgan is whatever you would like. It's fine. I'm still in a spacesuit, so nobody can tell anyway. It's fine.
They start making their way towards this crab creature, and I'm going to spend some doom and up the stakes.
Woo!
I mean, if we slaughter the deer, we have all the steaks we want.
No.
Yeah, so Morgan, you are taking point, you are taking the charge, and you are approaching this creature. It's moving at a good clip, so you have to, have some hustle in order to catch up with it. As you approach, you can really get a sense of the scale of this thing. It is taller than you, and just with the mass and the bulk around it, it's almost approximately the volume of like a medium-sized bear. This thing is substantial, and you're just a few feet away from it. It is continuing on its trajectory. What would you like to do?
I call out to it. I'm comms person. I'm trying to talk to it. I'm trying to make contact communication, saying in various languages, like various greetings to see, hello. See if they say anything. If there's a mouth on it, if it has vocal cords, I have no idea, but we're gonna find out.
All right. So, communicating with this thing after a few.
I have a quality of communications. Can I use that to up the boost my ability to possibly talk to it? Maybe.
Yeah. Would you like to
Yes.
explicitly
That one.
be communicating with it?
Yes, that one.
All right. You are communicating very successfully. However, because you are communicating very successfully does not necessarily mean that it is understanding very successfully. So actually, I am going to spend a point of that doom in order to reduce the effect. And what is going to happen is that the creature is going to stop. Not ease to a stop, but like almost like... and it is going to turn to you. There is a series of unusual like whistles, some noises that you cannot parse, and it is going to kind of release its claws. The bird that it has, suddenly the bubble disappearing, flies away, and this thing is turning and moving towards you now.
Ooh, I'm gonna be bubble-fied. Exciting.
Oh no.
So,
Morgan has sprinted a good way ahead. Everyone else is a little bit behind, so you are currently in a bad
stay
spot.
over there.
I'm gonna do something.
Okay.
Okay. What I'm going to do, let's say invite trouble. I need to do something to get a will point to do this because I don't have anything. I'm going to operate on a hypothesis. Because this resembles Earth, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my advantage. Is that what that is? Yeah, my quality as a looker to envision, to just really, really quickly envision a wreath of flowers, like a lei kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I picture, just everything about it in extreme detail, and I'm going to front that thought in my mind. Okay. My hypothesis is whatever is being shown to us, we have brought, and as it is rushing toward her, I'm gambling that whatever it's going to do, if it's going to grab her, I would like to hijack and make it, instead of, using a weapon on her or something like that, just something harmless, wreath of flowers, because we're in nature.
What an absolutely fascinating idea. As Sam fronts this thought. So that is going to give you 2 points of will because you are invoking a quality.
Okay.
And what you are going to find, putting this at the forefront, you see what appears to be a ring of flowers starting to sprout up slowly in the ground in front of you in the shape of a ring. But
Okay.
that does not stop the creature, which is moving with purpose, towards Morgan.
Okay.
And
So I'm meanwhile, because I'm not just going to be standing there like, duh, the thing is coming at me. I'm frantically searching my memory for all of the clicking languages and all of the animal husbandry information that I have in my toolkit to see if I have anything that I might use, like just throwing out some clicks and whistles and other sounds and things to see if I can, come up with something that this critter is going to understand.
Well, did you study Latin in college? No, I studied clicking.
Well, there's African click languages, and there's also
know.
like various sounds that animals make that people who work with them and communicate with them, pick up on and know because they actually are established words for animals. So like that's the kind of thing that I'm looking into, since I have the quality of communications and the advantage of a scanner, so I can do some of that stuff. That would be, I guess, probing secrets again, trying to find some way to talk to this critter.
How do people play this game that they don't just constantly probe secrets?
I don't know. They're
yeah,
just jumping in.
other versions of this game might have, more explicit combat or fighting natural disasters and stuff. This is definitely a mystery-focused
Nice.
session. And so, with that action, as you can see, the Doom tracker fills completely. Morgan, you have several epiphanies at once. The noises that you're hearing, you don't think they are meant for you. The noises that you're hearing from the creature, you do not think are it attempting to communicate with you. And the third epiphany is that bargaining with this creature, you are not sure if it would be receptive, even if it could understand you, as this thing is moving with a single-mindedness. And that's right before the rest of the team watches this crab reach its claws out and suspend Morgan in a bubble, lift them above their head, and start making their way towards the city. That is me doing a twist. Things are worse than they thought.
Oh,
She is bubbled.
You have been bubbled
Hit me.
and bobbled.
oh man.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I'm taking off, running after the crab. Hey, that's ours. You can't have that.
How fast is the crab moving?
It moves at a good clip. When it is moving,
Sideways?
if you know, unfortunately, it moves straight back and forth, not side to side. More like a lobster in its movement than a crab.
Is it like catchable, or is it like faster than we can run?
Yes, it is catchable, but you got to put some hustle into it.
All right. So,
Oh, go ahead.
oh, go on.
Alex has been doing.
Mine was really, really dumb. So maybe you should go.
Well, I like building off of what you saw Sam doing. Like Sam seems to be like thinking and almost like conjuring stuff. Alex is like, wait, is this like there was no gravity and nothing when we came in, and there was light and gravity and a freaking deer that apparently, according to our scans, didn't exist before. Like, is this a hallucination? Is this a simulation? And he wants to swat at like a nearby tree or something like that with the burner stick, just to like, if this is all being simulated, can I even hurt something? Like, if I swat at a tree, can I make a mark on it? Is this real once it's created, or is this all like digital nanites that are just going to reform? Is kind of not as well articulated, but what's in his mind. So he's just going to randomly like lash out at a nearby plant to see if breaking something actually has lasting impact.
Okay. Is this probing secrets once again?
Could this be take a chance? Like I really don't know what I'm
Sure.
I guess it could be probing secrets more specifically. Like, yeah, I want to know if I can hurt stuff in this world permanently, or get information on if what I'm seeing is physical or just a simulation or projected. If that makes sense.
Swinging the
Before we
stick.
try to fight a thing, I want to make sure we can hurt it.
Swinging the stick at what is unmistakably a nearby poplar tree. The stick bounces off, and you feel the vibrations run down your arm. And on the tree itself, you can see a gouge where the stick struck it, and sap starting to slowly leak from it. Reaching out and touching it, it is sticky in your gloves.
All right, so Alex is like, okay, let's do this, and charges the crab with
And
Tessa.
it's around that time that I put the clock escaped.
So, I want to know, I'm inside of a big bubble or whatever. What am I feel? What kind of sensations do I have? Anything at all, or am I just asleep? What happened to me?
Morgan, you seem to be physically paralyzed. You aren't able to move any part of your body except for your eyes as they're blinking and darting around as you are spirited away. This is alarming.
Is there anything that I can, like, see from my particular very close vantage point of this critter? Can I see any details in particular of this beastie that is starting me off that is not quite a crab or a lobster?
Are you attempting to learn something, or are you just regular observing?
I still have a point of will. I can try to learn something.
All right. So the creature seems to... Oh, and then Alex also took an action, which means more doom for me. Hooray. The creature that you are now so close to, your perspective is focused squarely on this creature as it kind of fills your viewpoint. From here, you can tell that while it moves in a organic way, it is unquestionably artificial. And in fact, your gut instinct is that it seems to be made of a very similar material to the metal of the what was it? Not the entrance room. The antechamber. You know, that unidentifiable, is it metal, is it ceramic, is it plastic? It seems to be made out of that similar smooth gray material. And with that, I'm going to go...
Not that anybody else can know that, because I can't tell them anything, but nice.
Do we have comms or anything?
I can't move my mouth, so it doesn't matter.
Uh-oh.
Morgan, the sensation of being carried like this, it feels almost as if there's like if you have touched like a Tesla coil, or what's that thing with the static electricity, and that feeling of like static electricity.
Van de Graaff?
Yeah, that like tingling all over, combined with the feeling of paralysis and helplessness and having this creature filling your vision. You are going to take 2 points of stress.
Yay! Now we're in real life.
As your anxiety starts to kick up. And then also, the clock escaped is going to tick twice as this thing continues to scuttle with speed.
All right, so
I think...
Can I invite trouble by... I have the trait or the quality brain, which I would like to interpret as the ability to, I don't know, grab a stick or rock off the ground and run up and brain the crab thing.
Absolutely.
Although it doesn't have a head. He said it does doesn't have a head.
It's a
That's okay.
verb. You know, yes, you can definitely brain it. Love that idea. Okay, so you are physically assaulting this creature.
Yeah.
And-
Apparently, when the stress is on, I go straight to caveman.
Now we get to the combat.
Okay, yeah. So finding a appropriate rock as a weapon, you make a beeline for this creature and start smashing into it. And the rock, you can see, upon impact, leaves a sizable dent in the creature, and it continues to scuttle. It is continuing to move in its direction, but you're definitely causing harm to it. But you aren't grabbing its attention at the moment. And also, despite the damage that you're doing, this is a big creature, and it's going to need more than that to take it down. But we're going to create a new clock, just simply called Crab, and tick it twice.
The kids have that clock.
To be fair, that was the less stupid approach. My other strategy was to imagine a giant container of boiling butter. Because, I mean, I was thinking, what is a crab's weakness?
Everyone knows it's butter.
Imagine a giant seagull.
All right, excellent. Who would like
I have
to
an
act
idea.
next?
This is going to be actually
I
done
don't
to
think
Ivan.
there's anything I can really do since I can't
Yeah.
move around. I am not aware that Sam can think things into existence because I
Yeah,
wasn't
I-
around for that. I was away. So I have no idea. So I don't think I can do anything in this particular juncture. So I'm just like, well,
So
guys.
in my mind, I did the recover action, and Alex did the hit a stick action. I guess we're all like sprinting, but I think Sam would be ahead of us, and then Tessa's braining the crab.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I'm
they're the ones who are
imagining-
most on top of it.
I'm just holding onto the leg, like, you know, like a little kid trying to, like, stop their parent.
So I mean, there's something I'd like to do when I get there, but I think Sam would probably get there first. Would have the next action.
Up to you. If you have an idea and you have the will to spend,
Yeah.
then feel free.
I'd like to spend a will to use my cutting tools to try and like slash at the
Perfect.
talons or whatever, try and mess something up to free the bubble.
Mm-hmm. Do you
What
have?
action is that? Is that just take an action?
That's just going to be take action. Do you have a quality
Okay.
that you can also invoke?
It's a fixer quality, so it's like getting something done in a sense. So it's like a fixer like that, but
Sure.
not really. I'm not really repairing the crab though.
Like Mr. Wolf.
Unfixing
You're gonna fix this guy.
I'm correcting the crab. Yeah, I'm fixing the crab's problem of having two arms.
If you know how to fix something, you know how to take it apart.
Objectively true. I like that idea a lot. So describe you going up and slashing at this crab.
So I imagine that my cutting tool is kind of like a bandsaw, but it's like wireless. So I imagine just like running at it like this, and then like finding like the weak point and just trying to like go like this, and
Is
like,
Is it the Ripper from Dead Space?
It
uh,
has to be.
yeah, let's do that. That sounds like a great idea.
Awesome.
And I'll eventually say, "Give us Morgan back."
Love it. So you go up, and this spinning blade starts biting into it, and it starts coming apart surprisingly easy as this gray material it's made out of just kind of shreds under the blade. And you are going to have great effect, so it is going to tick 3 times. But as this has been going on, it has also been getting closer and closer. So I am also going to tick the escape clock 3 times as it approaches this body of water that separates the green pastures that you're in from the city beyond.
I'm going to with my with my seeing power. Yeah, let's. I don't know what to call this because this is kind of freaking me out because that shouldn't have happened when I did that back there. I'm going to envision the body of water frozen.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So I think this is going to once again be. I think this is going to be taking an action.
Yeah.
And you are going to be doing it with standard effect. You are closing your eyes. You're basically doing like an X-Men, like trying to get it to react, to bend to your will.
Yeah.
And you can indeed see these spider webs of frost coming out from the shore. But it's going to take more time and energy and effort that you have right now in order to freeze it solid, or to even freeze a bridge of sorts.
Yeah.
So we're going to call this frozen.
Ooh.
And we're going to tick it twice. But we are also going to once more tick the escaped clock, which is going to fill as you see the crab creature make its way into the water, start submerging, and then sinking like a stone, just like starting to disappear under the water with Morgan in tow.
Is this something?
Luckily, I didn't take my helmet off.
Is this something that we can resist?
You absolutely can resist it.
Okay, I absolutely want to resist this. So I want to prevent the crab from escaping. And Alex, Iron Man Yuen, is going to use his burner stick, almost like a pole vault, except it's got like a charge on the end, to like vault himself over the crab and cut it off.
All right, tell me how you destroy this creature.
Ooh, okay. Well, then instead of vaulting over it, what I'm going to do is vault on top of it. So one vault, like jamming into the ground and activating the burn and rocket myself into the air. And then maybe slightly out of control, coming down on top of, there's not really any head, but it's just like square center of the crab, jamming the stick down, and almost think of it as a callback, a shark stick, right? Jamming that down into the top of the crab.
All right. Doing so, Alex, perched on top of this creature, this burning stick, stabbed down, and you can see the heat from it like melting a hole that like just continues dropping through. As he pushes it, it just keeps sinking deeper into the body of this thing. And then suddenly all of the limbs just go limp. The bubble around Morgan disappears, and she splashes into the water, freed from her prison. And we are definitely going to call that a scene. Everyone take a well-earned point of will.
Thank goodness. I thought I had a nice stockpile of will, and I was completely out of it. So
Yeah.
Nuts.
So yeah, I've played Monster Hunter. We now make armor out of this thing, right?
Okay.
So here's a question. In my spacesuit, how hard is it for me to get out of this water since the water goes down?
Oh, you're right in the shallows. So.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, you're
Great,
doing
then
okay.
then I clamber back out and quickly tell the other guys what I've discovered about this critter in my time inside of Bubble Bobble universe.
I'm gonna
About-
take.
about how it's not really a real critter and all that rest.
Can we take like a 2-minute buy break, or
Sure.
can we do that?
I will agree with that. I will also go.
Absolutely.
No, you can. It's built in. You can pee in your space.
Oh, okay. I'll just go then.
All right, we will take a break and we will return momentarily.
Okay.
One. And we're back.
All right, so. Oh, are you doing leading?
No, not
You just
particularly. We were
did.
only gone for a couple of minutes. Everyone knows what's up.
Tessa, as an avid gamer, is going to immediately search the crab for loot.
Search the crab for loot. All right.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like finding a resource. So what do you find?
Let's see. What I have no idea. I didn't think that far ahead. Story of my life. I think I find just some like random I know.
Here's what you find. You discover whatever gave the crab the ability to put something in a bubble.
Ooh, that's good. That's real good.
Yeah.
the bubbler.
You got a bubble gun now?
Space camera and bubblegum.
Tessa
wow.
uses bubble beam.
I wanna use an interact action while he's doing this to go over by where Sam is and try and chat up Mike on the comms, just so you know, shoot the shit.
Hey, it's me, Mike. How's it
Dude,
going?
Mike, you wouldn't believe, dude, we killed this crab. It was like a robot crab. It was crazy.
That doesn't make sense to me, but you know, what do I know? I'm a ship.
You're so
Well,
awesome.
like-
I mean,
It should make more sense to you.
So what? Are you thinking you're gonna bail?
Oh, no, I think we're in it for the long haul. I just wanted to give you an update, you know.
No,
I thought you
I
were,
like
might be
that.
worried about us, you know.
Yeah. Is Morgan okay?
Excellent
Like, is she
question.
in deep water? Does she need help getting out?
Well, I had gotten out of the water and come over and then told you guys what I found out about the crab. Hey guys, this crab, this
Right.
thing is like a mechanical thing. It's not a living creature, and it wasn't like I can't talk to it.
Yeah, okay. So I explain what I have been up to, my little project we've been doing while recovering Morgan. So kind of seems like whatever is happening here is responsive to us. You know, I don't know what we can affect, but I would say nobody picture the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man if you can help it.
Sorry.
Okay, so
God
did
damn
you
it.
just invite trouble?
Yeah.
That's a great
I'll leave
question.
it-
You two, no, I
I'll
love
leave it
that.
to you
That's good.
guys. I'll
Totally
leave it
inviting trouble.
Yeah, I mean that was just me being glib. Did I? I don't know.
I think Alex just invited trouble and brought the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or some semblance thereof.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Alex has a deathly fear of snakes, and he's doing his best not to think about it, but he also is, like, he's not. You know what happens when you tell someone not to think about what they're afraid of.
Yeah. So yeah, that's definitely inviting trouble because like I should have known that if this is responsive to us thinking about stuff, I probably by letting other people know about it that it was probably opening us up for stuff.
So if we
Okay, that sounds like you're doing it
To
with
further-
1. So take 1 point of will, and I gain 1 point of doom.
Okay.
So to further look for trouble, what if we all think about the same thing? Does it have a greater effect? Like, Alex, what are you thinking about?
And Alex actually latches on and sees the ice kind of in the lake, the spider webs. He's like, let's focus on that. That could be our way into the city.
All right, so let's all, I'm going to suggest looking for trouble by us all focusing on the ice.
Okay. And I'm gonna modify it with my looker. Gonna continue envisioning the
I interact and ask, are we gonna focus on like fire to melt the ice? Or are we gonna focus on an entrance, or what are we trying to focus on?
Okay, let's focus on creating a 15-foot wide stable bridge of ice from this point that I point to here over to the other side.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
All right, so group actions are kind of difficult to handle in this system, so we're going to be a little bit loosey-goosey. I'm going to say that everyone gains 1 point of will as you are doing this, but
Hooray.
I gain a commensurate amount of doom, which does, in fact, fill the doom track.
Woo!
Okay.
Doom, 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 doom.
So what is going to happen, I'm going to call it a disaster. So you are focusing on this bridge of ice. And sure enough, as all of you bend your will towards it, like these spider webs of ice start to solidify and deepen as this bridge is formed before your eyes. But all around you, you feel the air inside here get distinctly colder. And then above you, what was just a couple of thin wisps of cloud from the weather that was inside this tube starts to consolidate and agitate as storm clouds form above.
Oh god, he had to go somewhere.
All right, let's.
I never took off my helmet, so I should be pretty good against all of that. But whatever,
But-
we need to move.
But the frozen
Yeah,
clock
I'm gonna take off
definitely
sprinting.
fills.
Yeah.
Sprint. Where are you sprinting?
Down the bridge of ice.
I sprint your bus. Let's go.
All
Yeah,
right.
I
I'm gonna
go.
wait. I'm gonna wait and watch and see if they get across before I go.
Yeah, watching your companions start to
Sliding.
sprint across the ice. The ice is slippery, you know. They're taking their time. They're watching their steps, but the suits that you are in, the shoes are designed to give you sufficient traction, so they're not slip sliding like it's a cartoon. They're
Yeah.
definitely making progress across it, and the bridge seems to be holding. It doesn't seem like it's in immediate danger. What does seem to
Okay.
be dangerous is the increasing sense of static electricity in the air as little bits, flashes of light start to illuminate the clouds directly above.
Uh-oh.
Mhm. Well, then I start moving across this bridge too, because now we have to go find someplace else to be.
Yeah,
Hey, Alex,
yeah.
for no reason in particular, why don't you hold that metal strut above your head?
I might do that. Alex is having more trouble not picturing the ice worms from Lost Planet.
Which were
As he
posted
runs.
in the that was posted in the tabletop.
Yeah, I'm hauling it. This is.
Are you inviting trouble by not thinking about those worms?
We kind of invited trouble earlier, talking about our fears maybe
Uh-huh.
manifesting. So it's continuing to be in the back of my mind. I'm trying to fight it down, but it's there. But definitely running towards. I assume across the lake is buildings, right?
Yeah, across the
Yes.
lake there seems to be these huge gray featureless slabs.
Yeah. So
Seems
Alex,
safe. Let's go.
Alex is
Yeah.
booking it towards that. Like this is getting too weird. He's starting to be freaked out.
Yeah, I just continuing to try to cross.
The five of you make it across the water, and as you do, looking up, you're looking up at where the sky should be, and there is simply more land as this ring encompasses it. And above you, you can see these tiny little dots, which appear to be more of these crab creatures, taking their cargo to various parts of the city. What you just experienced seems to be happening all over the ring. Arriving at the other side, approaching these giant featureless gray slabs, they seem to more or less appear to be what they were at a distance, smooth and clean, just like the antechamber. But within this area, these streets, there is this haunting and bizarre simulacra that seems to be going on as you walk and seem to find yourself in the middle of a city street. What appears to be a vaguely paved road that you are on. There seems to be what might be a light post or a traffic light. But all of these are subtly off. The way that they connect to the ground, you know, they just kind of melt into it. The features aren't quite right. The most striking part, of course, though, is the seeming line of cars that sits perfectly stationary as you see in front of you what are undoubtedly the shapes of vehicles, but almost melting into the road itself, as if these car shapes were extruded from the ground.
Okay. I'm going to look around and see, is there an obvious taller structure? Is there, you know, something that we can see where everything is kind of like built around? I mean, even can I pull out my radar, use that, and like see if there's motion, like where the, you know, if there's like a convergence. You know, I want to determine where it is we should be, you know, going to, because right now I'm getting some distinct feelings that unless we're going to the center of this, we should be going back to the ship.
It definitely, your sensors seem to indicate that there is a central point that the crabs seem to be delivering their cargo to, kind of a central facility a ways off that they are converging upon.
Okay.
How long does it seem like it would take us to get to that central facility?
It looks like it's about a quarter of a rotation up the side of it. So not an insignificant hike, but definitely not insurmountable compared to what you have experienced. And
Do any of the
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Could Alex introduce an element?
Absolutely.
And one of the cars that's kind of melted into the road is a little more well formed and a little more intense looking, and this whatever it is has generated an APC that could take us there quickly.
Sure.
Yeah.
I will allow it.
And should we need to get the hell out, that could like haul ass back to the entrance.
Yeah, so while many of these vehicles seem to be half-formed, you know, not quite baked, the image that comes to your mind actually is, if you remember that primitive technology from the early aughts, Google Maps had this satellite view where it would be like, oh, here's a 3D shape of a tree, but it's not really right. It's like blending and bleeding.
Yeah.
But yeah, here is this seemingly quite well-formed vehicle.
shotgun?
And I am going to... Oop, I was taking the wrong clock, not the storm. Click, take my doom. And I am going to put you into a tight spot as you approach this. You see sitting in the driver's seat, kind of staring blankly, is unmistakably a human being. Seemingly naked and unclothed, just kind of passively sitting in the seat of this car. And as you approach, they kind of turn their head and like give you a blankly curious look.
Morgan, you should communicate with them, or, yeah.
Well, the first thing I want to do is give a look over the whole scenario, like the person and the area that they're in. Does it look like there's any obvious wounds or anything like that? Is there anything very obviously wrong with them to begin with, other than the fact that they're naked and blankly staring?
It doesn't seem like there's anything obvious to your eyes. The first impression is that this is very much like the deer.
Could I,
Okay. Okay, so I forget how we found out about the deer. How did we find out about the deer? Sam, that was you. You did something.
Tessa had the bio kit.
yeah, the bio
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So I'll walk over, and I'm imagining this is like Star Trek. It's always like, I've got my bio kit kind of tricordering it, and I assume that's going to be probing.
Sure. Doing so, you do indeed get a very similar result. As far as your sensors are concerned, this is a newborn.
So I do, just for the shits and giggles of it, try to hello, in multiple languages, see if they respond whatsoever to words.
They are pleasant and seemingly happy to be interacted with, but it becomes quickly obvious that they do not know words. There are no words for them to respond with.
Okay, I'm going to pick
Hey,
them
you
up.
went?
Go ahead.
You got
No,
it.
go for it.
Yeah, I'm going to pick them up and put them in the back. And I'm going to strap them down if I can, with whether it be cargo, whether it be just the general seatbelts, because we need to drive this thing, and I don't necessarily want to abandon them, but I also don't trust them not to, start attacking if that thought kind of enters their head if we get too close to us. So I clear the driver's seat and put them in the back and strap them down.
They are receptive to your shepherding of them. With little resistance, they seem to follow your instructions.
Okay.
And now you guys
Hey,
have a
good
car.
call.
You said we can drive now?
Yep.
Yeah. Alex is like, time to get to the center of things, and heads towards the center of things.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the seat going, badass sports car, badass sports car, badass sports car. Not actually doing an action, but I'm pretty sure that's what Tess would be doing.
Excellent.
I'm taking an action to watch my radar, just to monitor for threats. What I don't want to happen is for us to get sideswiped.
Does anybody have high levels of stress right now?
I have 2 stress.
All right, I'd like to spend an action recovering their stress while we're driving in the car.
Making soothing ocean sounds.
Excellent.
What's the so I'm invoking my fixer quality to do that.
Perfect.
What's the level of effectiveness of that?
If you're evoking a quality, then you're going to have standard effect. If you can evoke a quality and an advantage, you'll have great effect.
Gotcha. Okay, so that's fine. Level 2, then that would remove 2 points of stress then.
Correct.
Okay, I am no longer stressed about being in a bubble, which now Tessa has the ability to do.
Alex.
Does anyone else have stress?
I have 1.
Yeah, same.
Alex, you are driving this vehicle, and it's deeply unnatural as when you get in and start piloting it, the steering wheel moves, but the shifter seems to be purely decorative. The car is completely silent, with no engine noises or vibrations of any kind, as it just smoothly glides across the landscape.
If it fits with what's actually going on, could the engine noises be like what a kid would imagine, like if they were playing
Like an onomatopoeia, pew pew.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, maybe not all the way there, but like strangely close to that?
I will leave that up to headcanon.
Okay,
But
that's in my head.
but as you are driving across the landscape, the clouds above are roiling tumultuously. All right. Is there anything else that you want to do before you arrive at your destination? Any further recovery or discovering assets or probing secrets?
Just like as we're driving around, do we see anything strange? Like, do we see any crabs that we drive by? Do they react to us or anything like that?
I mean, you are definitely starting to see increasing number of crabs as they seem to converge upon this building. Your vehicle's faster than them, so you're kind of, driving past them and leaving them behind, but each seems to be carrying something unique in them, be it an animal or a flower, or some of them have trees, or... one of them you see with an entire moose enormously suspended in the air.
I want to introduce a new element.
Yes, please.
I want to have another car zooming by for Alex to have to deal with. I want to introduce another car that's actually in motion.
All right.
Is that an element or is that trouble?
That could be either one or both.
The result of this seems like it's not going to be helpful, so I'm going to call this inviting trouble so that you get some will out of it. All right, so we are as you are driving by, another vehicle of some kind appears behind you. Your mirrors are non-existent as they are the shapes but without any reflective material. But someone in the back, Sam, you are sitting with your naked friend, and they just kind of like smile and point behind the vehicle. And following his finger, you see that there is a looming shape on the horizon approaching fast. Not a crab, but seemingly a vehicle of some kind, rapidly closing the gap.
Hey guys, we got some trouble.
I immediately stopped thinking about a badass sports car.
The sleek shapes of the vehicle approaching do seem somewhat familiar to Tessa.
Damn it.
Did you invent cops? Alex will try to is not going to be outrun by this fake cop car.
I think that I am going to spend some doom in order to raise the stakes, as the stakes now go to high.
Okay.
Ruh-roh.
Yeah. I can't discern what we can do about this.
I'm sitting in a seat. I don't know there's much of anything that I can do about it. I use my scanner though and see if I can detect anything about this vehicle. Like, can I see if there is? Hello, Kitan. Can I see if there's any life form in it, or is it just moving on its own, like ghost vehicle type stuff? Or
I'm going to leave this up to you.
Okay, I say there's something in it.
All right. Currently difficult to make out the shape of. Your sensor definitely picks up a biological something in the driver's seat of this other vehicle that is once again approaching pretty fast. Your destination is not too far away, but it's going to take some fancy driving in order to get there and also evade this vehicle as you are trying to weave in and out of this highway of stationary vehicles.
And we've established the controls we're working with are not nearly as precise as actual controls. Like they're
correct.
Feels like you're a kid doing this in a giant toy truck.
It is.
Yeah.
The problem isn't that it's like ice physics. The problem is it's too precise. The problem is that it is so responsive to your touch that it's easy for you to overcompensate.
Like a bumper car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Guys, I don't know.
To be fair, we don't know that they're bad guys.
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, okay, so I'm going to let's see. I don't want to be a parody of ourselves and do a probe secrets, but like, is there anything I can discern about the way that they're driving that makes it seem like they're aggressive, or are we all just headed to the same place?
Are you probing secrets or are you just observing?
Let's probe secrets.
Probing secrets, you are able to see that they are definitely driving aggressively,
Okay.
with some kind of intent behind it. And also, behind the wheel, the silhouette seems to be humanoid.
Oh god, it better not be one of us.
Doppelganger.
So are now you're thinking that one of us is behind the wheel and manifesting that into a reality? Is that what you're doing, Sam?
No, not intentionally.
I think we should just keep the positive vibes going and all focus on arriving at our destination and just don't make eye contact.
Okay, well the whole think the happy thoughts and then they manifest in some way, shape, or form seems to be doing. So I'm going to focus all of my brain power on, Alex doing his awesome evasion of all of the cars ahead of us and getting to our destination. I don't know what else I can do in this situation. I am sitting in the car while he's driving, so.
This is not like a combined SUV. This is like kind of an open vehicle thing. So if you want to lean out a window or climb around to the other parts of the car, this is definitely closer to like a Mad Max vehicle where there are different stations that you can go to in order to take actions if you wanted to attempt to deal with the vehicle more directly.
So if it's a Mad Max vehicle, does that mean there's like a weapon somewhere on it?
I mean,
Maybe.
So I have a bubble gun. However, I'm not all that convinced that this is a bad guy, though. I mean, what do we think? Do you guys think we should bubble him?
Bubble? We can always bubble them and figure it out later. They don't die, they freeze.
Yeah, if it's not a bad guy, that's a perfectly ethical way to deal with them, I think.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna go do that. Then later on, we're gonna talk about ethics. But yeah, I'm gonna kind of lean out the window and attempt to bubble the guy following us.
All right. Are you? So by all appearances, the bubblegum seems to render whatever it bubbles weightless. So you could theoretically bubble it and bring it with you, or you can bubble it and try to leave it behind in order to give yourself a way to escape. What is your intention with it?
I'm thinking free car, right?
Not
You did
wrong.
bring this on it.
Yeah.
All right, so you've got the bubble gun. You're attempting to take action. What is your approach? Are you simply leaning out the back of it and aiming and firing?
Tess is an avid gamer and has played way too much Saints Row, so she's just kind of leaning out and like taking pot shots. I don't even know if this is a ranged weapon, strictly speaking, but that's never stopped me before.
So what you are doing, you are everyone can see Tess leaning out the back of the vehicle and attempting to not just use this, but also understand how it's used at the same time. And the first couple of attempts are awkward. It's firing a beam, but it's slower than Tessa expects. And the vehicle in question, when it sees this threat, suddenly does some incredible stunts. Absolutely dodging and weaving and skidding and spinning in order to evade every shot that Tessa is throwing at them, moving in a incredibly surprising manner, making him very unpredictable. You have ticked the got him clock twice, and you are continuing to exert effort. So you can continue to do it, or someone else can try to change the situation in order to give you that advantage that you need.
Thoughts, anyone?
Well, I was looking around the vehicle because this is a Mad Max-ish type of vehicle to see if there's anything else. I could potentially try to find something, say I've got something. Of course, I'm a comms person and a communications person, so like, I don't know what I might get, like a flare gun or something. I don't know.
Like maybe something to help. Oh, go ahead.
You would like to find a weapon of some kind, correct?
Yeah, some kind of a weapon, or not necessarily a weapon, could maybe be used as one, but not blatantly like, here's a machine gun. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not a fighter person. I'm a communications linguist.
So what you're going to find is you are going to find basically something that is vaguely handgun shaped in the back.
Yay!
And picking it up, you kind of ready it, and you pull the trigger in order to see what happens. And you are surprised when a sustained bright beam of energy blasts out of it, leaving a scorching streak along everything that it touches.
Well, that's cool. I get a laser gun. Okay, so I try to use this laser gun on the vehicle behind us, tires-ish, I guess. Like, I'm not trying to hit the person. I just want them to stop dodging the bubble gun.
Sure.
I want to slow it down. I don't want to kill it.
Shooting that beam out, again, it is moving in such a strange and unpredictable way, using this seemingly frictionless vehicle to its full capacity. And the beam that you shoot, it effortlessly spins out of the way in order to avoid it, which unfortunately for it brings it directly into contact with Tessa's bubble beam, as the bubble envelops it and it is suspended, kind of floating behind, connected by this tether.
So now we probably have a good look at it. What's the person look like, and what does the car look like? Is it a sports car?
So kind of reeling it in a little bit, bringing this vehicle closer, you can see what is inside it is a person who you have distinctly never seen before. Once again, it appears that they are unclothed. He is a man with kind of sandy blonde hair that is familiar to you in some way. And he looks at you with some kind of recognition.
Tessa, you should give him the scan. If you can scan and bubble at the same time. I'm not sure if you can do that.
Sure. Give him the scan! Sure, I'll give him the scan.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Morgan might be assisting you with this, with her communications tools. So we're going to call this Probe Secrets. And at that point, as you bring them in, basically, Tessa, your scanner reveals, once again, this seemingly is a newborn. But Morgan, your communications tools hear a familiar voice coming from this paralyzed figure as they say, hey guys, I don't know where I am. I don't know what's happening.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
Mike, we gotta free him. But why was he chasing us?
Mike, why do you have a body?
I don't know. And that's
Oh my
suddenly
God.
where you realize, where you recognize it from the video demonstrations of the original real human Mike back on Earth, who was the model for the artificial intelligence aboard your ship.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
I radio to see if the ship is going to talk to us. Hey, Mike, can we get us a situation update?
Hey,
Please.
working hard or hardly working, am I right?
Fucking Mike, I love that guy.
Yeah,
Nick,
yeah.
if you had to envision yourself, how would you describe yourself?
Handsome, muscular.
Same.
Okay. I'm going to introduce trouble, or I'm going to invite trouble by saying, "Hey, Mike, you're not going to believe who we just found." And I'm going to send him an image of the Mike. Let's say Mike Mark II. That's here. Say,
Thank God he wasn't Mark, because Mark II would be confusing.
yeah, my Mike Mark II, and say, yeah, we found somebody familiar.
All right. As you can see, the Doom track has filled, which means that I have to make a hard move. And so I am going to say that it is time to make an impossible choice. So
Yay.
what is going to happen is that what you are showing to your ship's computer is so impossible that something is going to go wrong. And what is either going to happen is that the ship is going to leave. Your escape pod will basically start acting of its own accord. Or Central Command is going to give you some new orders that you are not going to like.
Central Command.
Central Command, new orders.
Yeah.
Choose it, and then I bet we will immediately regret it.
Yeah.
I'm fine with them. Well, all right. I'll follow the group.
All right.
I mean, we don't have to obey the orders.
You're going to hear an awkward pause on the other end of this line. And you are going to hear the ship say, that makes things awkward for me in particular.
Why is that, Mike?
Look,
What's going on, Mike?
I got some news. We've been in contact with Central Command, and they've been hearing some of the reports that you've been saying, some of which are pretty wild. And it doesn't sound like they're going to let anything come back.
Yeah, I kind of figured that would happen.
So,
Okay, Mike, do we have an are they hearing this right now?
not right now. I pass it on.
Not right now. You passed.
And
it
you
on.
still need to learn everything you can. This is knowledge we'll never get a chance to learn again. But everything's going to have to be destroyed. None of this can keep going on.
So it's
Okay.
treason
So-
then.
How are we gonna do that? Do we have like B4 charges or something?
Well, this is passing through the solar system. It's not lingering, or so we think. All right. So, what could the danger be? Is Central Command afraid that this is going to leave something behind that is going to spread, Are they afraid that we're going to bring something back if we come with it? I'm just bouncing this off of the group. What do we think is most likely?
What if they're worried our mental ability to create isn't limited to this spaceship? What if we come back and just are able to do that?
Where are we gonna go if we can't go back to Earth?
Yeah, I mean, here is nice, but no, it's not nice. I don't want to be here forever.
I don't know. I mean, seeing aliens and stuff, that could be pretty sweet.
Mike 2 also pipes up, and he says, "Look, I don't know how I'm here either, but now that I'm here, I don't want to stay here. I don't want to be nothing. You know, we do I have to get left behind?"
Is this human or computer?
This is Mike
Mike
2.
Mark 2. This is the body, the naked guy in the vehicle in the bubble.
Naked Mike, do you remember anything from before you were in that vehicle?
I remember that you're never allowed to call me that again. Some pants would be great.
It's just to avoid confusion.
Let's just call him Magic Mike. Like, we don't know how he got here.
Okay.
I didn't wake up in the vehicle. I saw you guys from a distance, and I was trying to catch up and meet up with you. But I just woke up. I just woke up on the ground, and I knew things. I remembered things. I don't know. I'm me.
You're
Are
Mike.
we just leaving him in the bubble, by the way? Like, is he just still in the bubble this whole time?
His head's like sticking out of the bubble, and he's talking.
Are we done driving?
Yeah,
Did we stop?
I mean, I would definitely release the bubble if needed. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll say
Mike,
that you stopped
I
the
mean,
car and you got
everyone-
Mike into it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, everyone trusts Mike.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, I certainly
Well-
don't trust anyone else. Can Alex turn to Morgan and be like, look, you're good at communication. Can you fix this? Can you convince them otherwise? Like, if we figure out what's going on here, maybe we can use that as leverage to get them to let us back to Earth.
Well, until we know something, I can't really have that conversation, can I? I don't really have any leverage until we know what's happening.
This doesn't change our mission at all. It just changes the debrief, whether or not we go back to the home planet or, jettison out into, beyond the solar system. We still
Sure.
need to get to the center of this.
So, CompU Mike, could you check back with command to see if the Mike you were based off of still resides on Earth?
I don't need to check back. He was part of the team that sent you.
Okay, so is he still around?
Yeah.
Can we get him on the line?
Mike Prime.
Well, I can't get him live on the line. Due to distances, it's about a 10-minute communication delay between what we send there and what we get back. I can send him a message, though.
All right. What do we want to say? Communications officer?
Here's the deal. Whatever information we find out, we need to keep it to ourselves first, because we need that as leverage to be able to go back to Earth.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ask him how.
So what I was thinking is, I was just thinking if there isn't a mic there, if like when a mic appears here, they cease to exist at the outside. All we have to do is, concentrate hard enough to, manifest, say, like the president, and then hold him hostage.
Hmm.
I like where this is going.
Finally, someone's talking sense.
I was thinking it might be like an invasion of the body snatcher situation, and they're making duplicates here. But to what end, I don't know.
Well, I mean, maybe we should actually get to the Citadel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Citadel looms large as your vehicle finally comes to a stop. In front of it, you can see dozens of these crab creatures filing in to this building that comes up like a giant spike out of the landscape as they steadily march in, bringing their payload.
Does it seem like the crabs are noticing us, or are they completely focused on acquisition?
They continue to be focused on their duty.
Okay.
Yeah, duty.
Okay. Seems like we continue in. I have no reason to believe we gain anything by staying here.
Yeah, we got to get to the bottom of this. Let's go.
Yeah. Mike, we'll talk to you later. Mike 1.
Please call me
Mike
Robo
2,
Mike.
I guess.
And there's Magic Mike. There's
Magic Mike.
there is Ship Mike, and there's Mike Prime.
Okay. Yeah. Ship Mike. We'll talk to you later, man. Sorry we have to leave you. Mike
Yeah.
2. I'm not sure what we're doing with you.
Well, let's bring him with us.
Yeah,
Okay.
he comes with us.
There also is
Alright.
that other person, not necessarily Mike, that we originally found.
Strapped down.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
in
is
the
that-
car, strapped down.
Is that person starting to
That,
look
that
more
weirdly
like
is
Mike?
unable to talk. Yeah.
Yeah, this person
Yeah,
seems to be
they're-
a dum-dum.
Yeah, I've got a medical kit. I figure if we need any replacement organs.
Good idea.
That
I
got
cutting
dark.
tools, so yeah.
I don't know about
Call
that.
one Proto Mike.
Yeah. Let's have him come with us. The John Doe or Jane Doe, whatever we have, the Doe, seems compliant. So, let's,
Sorry, guys, I've been playing a lot of RimWorld. Lots of harvest these people for organs.
All right, let's try and find a way in, I guess, to the spiky building.
Finding a way in seems trivial. You can see the single file line of these crabs as they orderly march into this entrance at the beginning. And we are going to call this a new scene. Everyone, please take a point of will.
okay.
And the stakes are going to drop down to low.
Don't worry, we'll fix that.
Yeah.
What are
but yeah,
what are the storm clouds looking like right now?
the storm clouds continue to roil and threaten with these bright flashes appearing throughout them. The cold wind continuing to pick up speed as dust and detritus kind of whips through the air. But for now, it hasn't fully broken.
Well, let's head inside then, guys.
Yep.
Okay, so we head in, I guess, past the single file line, past all these critters. Do they do anything when we're
Well,
walking by?
that's the question. Are you willing to just walk within, a couple of meters of all of these creatures, one of which was nothing to sneeze at, and now there are dozens? Or do you attempt to find another way or some kind of subterfuge?
I send Doe in.
You send Doe
ahead of
in?
us.
Yeah, let's nudge them in, see if
Yeah.
anything happens.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I take one of Tessa's bolts. I throw it into the building, and I say, "Hey, go get that."
He kind of smiles pleasantly and then starts walking towards it. And as he does, only a few meters in, one of the crabs kind of looks at him and then bubbles him, taking him as well
Oh
as he
shit.
is brought deeper into the
Okay.
citadel.
Good call checking.
All right, so we go another way then. What?
So, a possibility, what if we find something to bubble and this, just go in, hello, fellow crabs?
That's what I was gonna suggest.
Is there anything around, are there any, not rats or anything we can bubble?
Yeah, there's me.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
we're
let's
deciding
play
I'm
to
good.
go
If you're- If you're
Wait.
volunteering.
Yeah, are we all gonna go, or are we just sending Tessa with Bubble Mike to try and sneak in?
No, we all gotta go for sure.
Yeah, I mean, how many legs do these crabs have?
You can see that they have 6 legs each, as well as 4
Okay,
arms.
so Okay, yeah. So we'd be about right.
Okay, well, all right. So three of us walk, and that leaves Mike, and then two.
He'll be in the bubble.
Yeah. Can if we huddle around Mike, can the three of us be bubbled?
Okay,
to,
so
go in.
2 people piggyback, and then the third person's holding the bubble, and that's 6 legs.
So
Yeah.
Alex starts laughing. He's like, "Hey guys, this is a little too much like that team building exercise we did before we left."
Smart, we did it.
Mike too laughs and like,
Yeah, I
you
mean-
guys look like dicks.
You should have seen us on this jetpack earlier.
Sorry, I missed that one.
All right, assume crab formation.
Okay.
Assuming
Okay, who's bubbled? who's bubbled then? Who jumps in?
I volunteer to be in the bubble because
Oh,
I
you're-
psychologically do not know that I want to be in a bubble again. So.
Oh, you're in the bubble, Cole? Or Sam?
Cool.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Mike and Sam.
Mhm. Okay.
I'll be a piggyback. So I'll be one of the people piggybacking.
Okay.
I'm fine with this. This feels weird, and I'm kind of into it. And with that,
You want answers? This is how you get answers.
and with that, the bubble envelops you as crab formation begins to walk towards the entrance and make their way in. So whoever is taking point as crab, I'm going to need you to take action in order to infiltrate.
All right.
Right. Would that need to be me since I'm holding the bubbler, or?
Not necessarily just any, but whoever is in the crab formation.
I'm taking a point of will.
Okay.
I'm taking off a point of will.
Sure. Okay, so you want to do it? Sweet.
All right. So, making your way into crab formation, you fall into line, your payload hovering weightlessly in front of you as you enter this exceedingly dark building. The interior seems to be bereft of lights. The crabs apparently do not need light to see, or at least to navigate this area, and only the glow of the bubbles themselves casts a unnatural light upon it. And you find yourself in this dark, enormous, hollow spire. And within it, you see these huge, long cylinders protruding up out of the ground. And each of these cylinders seems to be full of these like hollow cells, almost like beehives, where they are slotting the various animals and creatures and plants into these cylinders for storage.
Okay.
Keep it together, I whisper.
I'm in the bubble, so I can't do anything.
Yeah, you are in the bubble.
And
What are...
I look forward.
What are we doing?
Is there like an end of the line? Can we see anything? Or is it just like endless bubbles in a line in a row for as far as we can see?
That seems to be your current impression. You know, as far as these crabs are concerned, these cells seem to be the end of the line.
is it
Okay.
clear where the crabs are going once they drop off their bubbles? Do they go back out, or do they go further in?
They start to, I believe they start to head back out.
Can I spend some will to introduce an element?
You may.
If it fits, I would love for us to see kind of a clear control room, like some, maybe up some stairs, kind of above, overlooking the road that the crabs are going down, but somewhere that looks like it is central and kind of where everything is being orchestrated from.
I like it. So, yes, overlooking this area, there are a couple of the crabs that break off from the pack and head deeper in towards this this overlook that hangs above in the inside of the spire. And it's very clear that there are some silhouettes moving inside there, which appear to be neither human nor crab.
Can I ask
Crab people.
what happens when the things that are in the bubbles are deposited into the cells or whatever? Are they still in suspended animation or whatever?
It does seem to be that way, and as you are watching, you see a crab fill the last cell of one of these cylinders, and it begins to slowly retreat back into the floor before a few moments later, a new, fresh, empty cell appears just a few feet to the side.
It's like Outer Limits at Kings Island. Only people
Yeah.
from Ohio will get that joke.
We don't want to end up in there. So
Yeah, my main question is going to be, how are we going to get the people in the bubble out of the bubble and get away before the crabs come for us? If we are going to be going up to wherever that is, that could.
I mean, I can release the bubble, right?
Yeah, but like the crabs will know that we are not one of them doing
So-
the good deed.
And we're whispering this right now, right?
Yeah.
As this whispering happened, the suspicion clock ticks twice.
So Alex is gonna be like, look, I'm gonna try to create a diversion. You guys get to that room. And Morgan, you've got the laser gun. Tessa, you've got the bubble gun. We need to take whoever's in there hostage.
Yeah.
And the idea of what I want to try to do is I want to consume my burner stick. And right before one of those big stacks of bubbles goes down, I want to jam the burner into the bottom of it to keep it from being able to go down. And that'll cause it to malfunction, cause the distraction of the
Interesting. Are you consuming it because you want to gain, basically take an action without spending will, or do you feel like narratively you need to justify it being destroyed?
I want to spend it without using will because I'm down to 1 will, and I have a feeling that is going to start things getting really hairy really fast. So
Excellent. Well, it also prevents me from gaining doom when you consume a resource. So, well done.
That is too what I was thinking about.
Yeah, so you kind of break off momentarily from the crab formation, and as you see this sinking into... Where's my hand? I'm trying to do a gesture. Sinking into the ground, you jam your stick in there, fully heated, as it wedges in there. The heat from it also starts to melt. And again, this material starts to melt around it and almost form a puddle, kind of fusing it to the side, preventing it from retreating any further. As suddenly an alarm blares as this malfunction is kind of spotlighted. Immediately you see a number of the crabs turn and start to approach the pillar, presumably hoping to repair it. And the suspicion meter is going to tick twice more.
Hurry up, Alex, back into crab formation.
Let's book it.
Yeah. We need to take off in the direction of this control room place that we are seeing.
Yep, you approach what seems to be an elevator. And not quite an elevator, not like an enclosed thing, but it's more like a lift that just, goes up and down seemingly of its own volition. And as you approach, it kind of lowers to welcome you on. And so with that, it takes you up to the top. And that is going to be a new scene. So everyone, please gain a point of will. And we're going to call the stakes rising. Emerging at the top, you see in front of you a kind of spacious control room. And in the center of it is a large body, not entirely dissimilar from the crabs that you have seen before, made out of that similar material, but it is large enough that it just seems to be filling like almost the volume of the room. Coming from it are numerous appendages, seemingly dozens of these delicate little arms that end in these multi-fingered claw hands that are dancing around control panels all through the room. And in the center of it, of this creature, is a tank of some sort, and there is inside the tank is a creature almost as if it's like in an amniotic fluid, curled in the fetal position, just suspended while these arms dance around overlooking this operation.
Okay.
I believe, David, you were trying to talk, but you were...
Have we?
Thank you.
Sorry, there was a ice cream truck driving by. Truly, can I bioscan the fetus, the star child?
You absolutely can. Unlike everything else, the readings of this are undeniably alien, not carbon-based, but also not machine, and also incalculably old, older than your sensor can detect.
So I assume we are not in crab formation anymore. We're kind of like huddled outside this room now.
I would assume so, and I would also assume that the bubble has been released.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that was part of getting on the elevator.
Definitely.
In front of you is both this creature and also this control panel that operates the entire facility below. So what would you like to do?
Okay, so that's probably going to get us to the rest of the facility. So we need to figure out how to take control of this control room.
I think
Not
we
that
might
it's
have
worked
found
at any point during this entire time that I have been trying to talk to critters, but I'm going to try to communicate with this critter with whatever resources I have, be that body language, words, whatever.
Do the Bloodborne, the
Interpretive
contact?
dance,
Yeah.
I don't really care. Like, whatever, I'm going to attempt to talk to it, see if I can talk to it at all.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
One other detail that I failed to mention, also projected across this screen, the viewport that is here is kind of in two halves. There's the lower part which looks out over the operation that's happening here, but then also above it is seemingly a holographic projection of the interior of the cylinder, giving it view of what is happening inside its walls. And you can see that it's currently zoomed in on some crabs bubbling a few fish.
Oh.
But with that said, Morgan, you are approaching and attempting to communicate. The intention of your communication is just to try to establish some kind of rapport, to see if it's intelligent, to see if it's receptive.
Yeah.
Friendly, neutral, trying not to escalate the situation, I assume. Is that correct?
Yes.
When you start speaking, all of the arms simultaneously pause. What action are you taking here? Is this probe secrets? Is this?
I guess I'm going to introduce an element. I want this damn thing to communicate with me. I want something to communicate with me. That's my power
It's my birthday and I want to talk to aliens. I agree.
Come on.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah. So the question I was if that I was intending was do you have a quality or advantage that will help you?
I have communications as my quality.
Perfect.
So
I think you are going to hear from the creature a couple of aborted attempts. Like, you hear a series of sounds, then you hear, like, a jarble, then you hear what might be words in another language, before finally a kind of robotic, unnatural voice says, "Communication established. Intruders detected. Operation jeopardized."
All right, I translate real quick for all of my buddies behind me about what that's all about.
I mean, I don't think we want to jeopardize anything.
No, so like I try to explain in whatever words I've got to this creature that we are just a investigative team. We don't mean any harm. We actually aren't even, connected with our homeland anymore.
Basically, are you hiring?
Yeah, are you hiring? Yes. You got a bubble gun.
The creature seems to be preoccupied. It's hearing your words. It's understanding you. But it seems very focused on its current mission. So I'm going to create a new clock called Snap Out of It. And it is continuing to do its work, and you hear it almost idly saying, specimens escape containment, research mission compromised, ending cycle early, begin factory reset. And in front of you on the screen, you can see a subtle change starting to occur as you begin to see a zoomed-in vision of a group of crabs, and they are approaching a tree, and then with their claws, they are beginning to systematically dismantle it as they are... you see them working the cylinder back down, revealing that flat, featureless metal underneath. Your communications are ongoing, but if you want to connect to it on an empathetic level, you're going to need to do something else to show that you are not just an escaped experiment.
I'm going to use Sam's mind tricks, and I'm going to start trying to manifest something that we have not come across yet in our time on this ship. So, okay, we've seen flowers, trees, birds, all kinds of stuff like that. I start manifesting what sounds like a good thing to manifest for this thing that it might be interested in. A Rubik's Cube! I will make a Rubik's Cube. With my mind, I will manifest a Rubik's Cube. Something that they have not seen on this ship yet.
A thought is...
I'm trying to basically show it that we have valuable information that they do not have about this place that they were trying to research. and I'm trying
It
to.
seems like a good way to get captured.
We're already captured here, and we can't go home.
You know, we're not so different, these crabs and us. We're researching them, they're researching us.
Their weakness is butter. Our weakness is butter.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Morgan, you are going to need to focus your energy on a chunk of this gray material in order to try to manifest it into a Rubik's Cube.
Let us do this thing. I will take this action.
Are you able to invoke any of your qualities or advantages to help you out?
Well, with my advantage as a scanner, I'm gonna take that to be like a 3D scanner / printer type thing. I'm going to use that because I have photographic memory and I can know exactly how to make that Rubik's Cube real fast.
You have an excellent visual thinking. You are able to turn it in your mind and able to strongly project your vision onto it.
Yes.
So with that, you are going to reach down to it and then just kind of pull up a Rubik's Cube from the material itself. And then very visibly in front of this creature, you're going to start playing with it. Just start, spinning it and just demonstrate to it what you have to offer.
As I make magic happen.
You make things, we make things.
Yeah.
All right, I think this is an excellent plan. I think the creature is. You know what? I just feel like that should work. I just like that. So I'm going to feel like the creature is going to kind of pause for a moment, and then two of those many arms are going to slowly reach out towards the cube, and seemingly request it from you.
I hand it over.
You see those delicate fingers kind of spinning it back and forth at high speed as it attempts to understand the purpose. And
Good luck. Good luck.
For the moment, it is occupied. While it is doing this, is there anything that the other members of the team would like to do?
I want to start looking at the computer and seeing if I can figure out any information, if there's any like switches or anything to open anything.
There is every switch for everything.
Yay, switches. Are there buttons?
There are buttons, there are switches, there are knobs.
I would like to spend an action to take a chance and push buttons.
I approve it.
All right.
Still not as good as zippers.
While Amanda's doing that, Sam, what were you thinking?
I was going to approach the tank and try and look and see what kind of interface there is between this tank, the floating body in the tank, and all of this machinery around us while he's occupied.
All right, I'm going to resolve that first because that seems like just regular observation rather than probing secrets to get deeper knowledge. Would you agree with that, or are you trying to?
Yeah. I just want to see if there's like a wire harness, if there's a plug in the back of this. How is this thing kind of communicating its intention out to the greater machinery?
The tank itself seems to be almost like a water cooler, whereas that like encased tank, but it has maybe some kind of drainage port at the bottom.
Okay.
But between the fluid of the tank and the creature itself, there are no connections or wires. It is simply suspended in there, and then this tank itself is connected to this malleable gray substance that is its body.
Okay.
The interface between it seems to be not mechanical in nature, but more direct.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Sounds like the tank at the end of Inside.
Ooh.
We got a lot of things going on at once.
Could I leverage my bolts quality to look for a way for us to bolt? It just needs to be establishing an element. Like, once we resolve what's going on here, I want there to be an escape pod that we can either negotiate or force our way into.
Yeah, so go ahead and why don't you spend a will to introduce an element?
Yes. Okay. Cool. There is an escape pod that we feel like we could get out on.
Okay. We are going to call that. From here, there was the lift that led up to it, but there's a lift that leads further up. And it leads to something. I guess we'll find out. But with that, we're going to dovetail that with simultaneously Amanda pressing buttons, which is going to feature nicely with the Doom track filling completely, which means that
Purely coincidence.
Which means at this point, I think the alarms are going to go off in earnest. The security systems that are in play fully deploy. Lights are flashing, and you can see below you all of the crabs are simultaneously turning and moving as one towards you with very deliberate intent. Fortunately, there is a lift between you and them. Unfortunately, the lift is going down to meet them. So that is trouble, and the stakes are going to raise all the way up to calamitous.
Okay.
And so right now the room is bathed in this red light. These creatures are coming towards you, and it's just Morgan and the creature in the tank slowly trying to understand each other.
Okay.
Hey, Amanda, while this is happening, could you work with me using your fixing ability and my space camera to try to download as much information as we can from the system before we have to bolt?
Okay, so you're trying to plug something in the computer right now for like a USB or something like that?
Right, but I'm figuring I definitely don't have the knowledge to interface with an alien system, but maybe you do.
I can spend a will and try and figure it out, but
is there support for dual people using their abilities to do a thing?
Not particularly, but we're just gonna go for it.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so I spend a will. I'll say, yeah, let me see if I can fix this together with the computer and see if anything can happen. I'll just press some more buttons randomly.
Yeah, I think just pressing buttons is what's going to happen. And what is going to happen is that you are going to get holographic displays of all of these many cylinders that rise and fall in the room. And it's going to show you cylinders full of things that you've never seen before. Alien life form from dozens of other planets. All displayed in front of you. And all you have are these fleeting primitive tools to try to capture as much as you can.
So can I argue for a gaining an advantage simply called the evidence?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Meanwhile, can I, in my attempts to communicate with this creature, continuing to invoke my quality of communication, see if I can get this creature to turn off that freaking alarm that's going off right now, since we are not a threat. We're making bonding time happen over a Rubik's Cube, and we're solving the puzzle together in friendship and good faith.
We're on our way out, I promise.
We do not want to take anything. Yeah.
I think you certainly can.
I will spend whatever will needs to happen to do this thing.
All right, and you are going to evoke your quality of communication?
Yes.
All right. With that, you are going to fill up the snap out of it clock.
Yay.
But the stakes are also calamitous, which means that the doom will also fill.
Woo.
So what is going to happen is that the creature, you will see them not look at you, because again, this thing is just like this fetal thing in a jar. It's not actually looking at you or interfacing with its physical body at all. It's only this proxy body that it is using. But something about its body language seems to change, and you see an arm reach out to interface with the control panel, and suddenly the blazing alarm seems to pause. And then it reaches out with one of its hands, and it touches you on the forehead. You see this claw reaching out and pass through your helmet, like the helmet seemingly just giving way as it reaches to touch you. And it touches you square in the forehead, and you are going to reach a breaking point, which means that your stress is going to max out. So what that means is now you get to have a choice of what this means, as suddenly alien knowledge is pushed directly into your brain, overflowing, flooding you, like overwhelming you completely. So, does this mean you die? Or do you...
Oh, no, of course not.
All right, then you are going to take an affliction in order to continue pressing on past this
Because of all this
point.
information that is in my brain, I sometimes will have points where I can't say normal words anymore. I just kind of with whatever alien stuff comes out of my mouth because of all the stuff into my head.
It's like the problem with Spanglish, but with dozens of languages all competing to try to communicate at once.
Yes.
So go ahead and take the affliction scrambled,
Yay.
but empty out your stress track.
Turns out the human brain is a better space camera than we could ever invent. Now we just need to encode it.
And so,
truly, that is the.
And so with that, I'm sorry, I keep cross-talking.
You go ahead.
So with that, everyone watches as Morgan kind of convulses as this touch sends electricity through her, as she like spasms from what is happening to her. And then at the end of it, she collapses.
I'm going to take a point of stress from just seeing that.
Excellent. I love it.
That's fucked up. It went straight through the helmet.
But
Take a point of will for willingly stressing yourself out.
At least the alarm went off. It stopped going.
It did go off, but outside on the holographic display, you can see this unbelievably efficient process of stripping back the green lushness that was in the cylinder back to its factory reset setting.
We gotta get out of here.
I put my helmet back on.
Morgan, what does it want?
I'm on the floor convulsing, right? Or am I done with that? Am I able to speak now? I say garble. I can't.
Can I, okay, so I don't have a will, so I guess I'll need to look for trouble by, can I use my, I have a medical pack to attempt to treat Morgan, maybe have some medical marijuana or something.
Some back alley medical devices.
If you consume a pack, then you can do that, and we won't suffer which we are already pretty maxed out on.
If I can what?
If you consume.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah, I'll consume the med kit. Yeah, no, good call.
Okay.
All right, consuming the med kit, you kneel down over Morgan, and you do something. I'm not sure what.
Give me some morphine.
Yeah.
Tranquilizer usually work.
Some kind of sedative, something to snap her out of this cycle, because her mind is moving so fast that it is preventing her from functioning at this point.
Yeah, I definitely do the Star Trek, like, I make some sort of weird analogy of, like, I don't know.
The Vulcan, like, shoulder pinch or whatever.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
You pinch her shoulder and she's better now. But with the application of this sedative, Morgan, you are feeling distinctly more yourself. It is still overwhelming. It is still just on the edge of consuming you. But you are able to be present in a way that you weren't.
Okay, so I tell them immediately, we need to get out of here. That's about the simplest thing I can get, because with as much as what is going on in my head at the moment, it is hard for me to even begin to explain what's happening. And right at the moment, our priority needs to be to go. So.
Well, let's use the other lift then. I dash over to that and look for any way to activate it, a familiar control panel, anything like that.
I toss the USB to Tessa that was downloading data and start to head towards the elevator.
Sweet.
I
follow.
I head over with Sam and see if there's anything that, with my new knowledge, I know how to do if it's unfamiliar.
Interface.
Do I know how to operate this lift? Can I spend will? Or is it okay?
Just similar to the other lift, your approach, it seems to respond to it. And so without requiring any further effort, the lift comes at your call and takes you up. And at the top of the spire, seemingly directly in the center of the cylinder, so that the entire world is equidistant on all sides, there is a small vehicle, not entirely dissimilar to the cars that you had been in, where it is vaguely vehicle shaped but also smooth, and its method of operation is unknown. But it seems to be waiting to take you or whoever else approached it where they needed to go.
So I spend some will to probe secrets. I should know something in my brain full of alien knowledge about what this is or how to operate it and all that.
Excellent. So, remind me again about the first car that Morgan owned.
The first car that Morgan owned was a jalopy. It was really terrible. It was an old vehicle. Very clunky, but very spacious because it was an old vehicle. and Morgan actually had to do all of the work on this car. This is a little too much like life. Herself, and knew that car in and out. Let's just say that.
Morgan, as you sit in the driver's seat, the vehicle itself shapes itself to this very familiar shape. Turning the key in the ignition, which of course it was there, you hear that familiar sputter. You sigh and roll your eyes a little bit as you have to jiggle the key just right in order to get it to take, and then it does as you feel the familiar vibrations of the engine in the front of it. To everyone else, you see the continued sleek shape of it, almost like an arrowhead, and inside is just this morphed interior of a car that has appeared at her touch.
With it complete with all of the ceiling stuff coming down and being pinned back up, and dice on the
From her exact perspective, everything is exactly where it should be. But like moving just out of that perspective breaks the illusion as you see the artifice around it.
Weird.
I'm not asking questions. I am doing whatever I can to get into a secure spot within it.
Wait, so this raises a question. Doe, you coming with us?
Doe got bubbled.
We got Mike too, though. I was gonna ask Mike too what he thought of all this.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought Doe was still with us.
No, Doe got bumped. We used him as a canary to see if.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So Mike, you with us?
Hell yeah, I'm with you. Let's go.
Alright.
So, Alex,
with
just before.
that, I think that we are at the end as we montage towards the finish line.
Can I do one thing before we finish?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been eyeing this, last resort action the entire time.
Okay.
So Alex kind of pauses and he's thinking, he's like, this isn't all we can take away with us. And he turns and my last resort action, he's going to go back down the lift, which, the crabs are starting to swarm over the room we were in before. And when the lift comes back up, he has rolled the canister with the alien being. And that he has somehow gotten on. So Alex got in the process, but he got the alien life form onto the lift for you guys to take with you.
So are you saying that Alex dies in the process?
He sacrifices himself to capture the alien.
And dethrone God. Yeah.
There's a moment when you realize that Alex wasn't behind you, and when the lift comes up, he is covered in slashes from these security systems. But in his hands is this enormous tank with this floating being that he brings, and with that, everything starts to go strange. I think without the driver at the helm, you see the weather continuing to get stranger and stranger, and the ground below start to morph and shift. But the jalopy flies out through the center, returning to the initial airlock, and makes its way back to Ship Mike, the vessel that can take you home or somewhere else. You don't know.
Yeah.
And I think on that slightly uncertain fate of knowing that they're not allowed to go home, but they have this infinite wellspring of knowledge, as well as the ability to make these fantastic things.
And a Death Stranding, baby.
What could possibly be in store for humanity as, you have the option to raise it into a new childhood. And
we may or may not have kidnapped God.
Can we get a quick insight into the conversation between Mike and Mike when they re-enter the ship?
That's the post credits. So we cut to black.
I am very, very, very late for dinner. So.
The name of the adventure, Home Sweet Home, flashes on the screen as the credits scroll, featuring Jala Prendez as Morgan Gendry, Cole Ross as Sam Cooper, Ben Merkel as Amanda Rockwell, Dennis Furia as Alex Ewan, and David Moneysmith as Tessa Cook. Give yourself a round of applause. You are all fabulous players. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you for DMing this. Or, you know what I mean.
And once again, happy birthday to Jala.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Nola!
Happy birthday.
It was fun.
This is awesome.
And then the post credits shows up as it's just like, hey, there you are. About time. Where you been? And then,
hey, I'm walking here. Hey, I'm walking here too.
hey, I'm flying.
Okay, well, you know, a physical bond.
Get out of me.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that was our game. Thank you so very, very much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I do have to.
Fun.
I have
I
to
know.
pluck Jen out of the crazy children like I plucked that alien out of the crabs.
Yes, go Dennis.
All right,
Thank you
take
for
care.
listening.
Does
Hey,
anyone...
see you guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, thanks so much for running this. This is the first
Yeah,
like
that was